Hello everyone, welcome back to Ruby Tarot. Thank you so much for always following and supporting the channel. The moment you come across this video is the perfect time for you to receive this message. On this channel, I always bring you messages about the things that are about to unfold in your life. When you open your heart and place your trust in positive energies, you are also connecting to a parallel world, a world where your deepest wishes have already come true. Today, through this reading, I hope to help you unlock the possibilities of your future, supporting you on your journey to conquer love and manifest your desires into reality. The theme of today's reading is the most wonderful future that you are heading toward. Let's explore it together right now. I have prepared 3 cards corresponding to Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Take a moment to listen to your intuition and choose the card that you feel most drawn to. Once you've made your choice, simply click on the timestamp in the description box to jump to your reading. Now, let's begin the reading for those of you who have already made your choice. Hello, Pile 1. Thank you for your patience. Now, I'll begin a reading for those of you who chose Pile 1. I hope this reading brings you healing, fresh insights, and heartwarming moments filled with love. We're going to explore the most wonderful future that you are heading toward, the beautiful things that are on their way to you. First of all, there is a message that you will soon begin to feel much lighter. Everything will start to become easier. You will be released from many burdens and responsibilities that you've been carrying for so long, and you will finally be able to soar freely. This is a truly joyful message, a sign of deep emotional and spiritual relief. Next, I'd like to take a closer look at your present and past, as well as the people currently surrounding you, in order to gain a deeper understanding of your situation. What's coming through is that you may be standing at a major turning point in your life right now. However, there's also a sense of resistance appearing in the reading. This could mean that you're experiencing fear or a subtle anxiety, even though you're genuinely excited about the future that lies ahead. Your emotional state appears to be filled with contradictions. On one hand, there's anticipation, excitement, and hope, but on the other hand, there is also worry, doubt, and unease. This inner conflict is completely natural in this world. It's a part of what it means to be human. And it seems that you might still be trapped in the past in some way. There are lingering memories and unresolved emotions that have yet to be fully processed or healed. These may be gently holding you back, even if you're already looking forward and trying to move ahead. You may be feeling stuck in the past, perhaps in the form of indecision or emotional wounds and painful memories that keep replaying in your mind. It could be that you've tried so hard, put in so much effort, yet the results you hoped for never came to fruition. Or maybe your hard work and dedication were never truly recognized or appreciated. These experiences can leave deep emotional pain, a sense of weariness that feels hard to shake. However, this is also the moment when your destiny is preparing to shift. Even if you're currently facing situations you never wished for, or if it feels like everything is stagnating around you, don't worry. This is part of your transformation process. The feeling of being misunderstood, the pain of efforts going unnoticed, these are the emotional undercurrents that many people experience right before a major turning point in their lives. I always say that before you leap, you must crouch. You may be going through a period of fatigue or discouragement right now, but it's all leading you toward a new chapter, one that holds promise and renewal. The reverse 7 of Cups reveals that you are confronting reality with unwavering honesty. There is a sense that you feel you have no choice but to face everything head-on, that you must not run away or escape from any part of it. But perhaps now is the time to pause just for a moment. Breathe. Take a step back and allow yourself the clarity to see things calmly. Reflect deeply on your next direction. If you're currently in an environment where your worth is not being seen, where your voice is not being heard, or where you cannot fully express who you are, it's a sign that it may be time to seek a new space. A space where your presence is not only acknowledged, but truly valued. A space where your soul can shine, where people can truly understand and resonate with you. Even if, right now, you are encountering circumstances that feel uncomfortable, disappointing, or out of alignment with your desires, trust that all of this is part of the journey that is guiding you toward a breakthrough. And you, more than anyone, can sense, deep in your heart, that this is the moment to transition into the next stage of your life. So, I believe many of you might be feeling the need to slow down and reflect carefully right now. There is also a sense of inner hesitation surfacing. Perhaps you're receiving many different sources of inspiration. You might be observing people around you achieving things you once dreamed of, and a part of you wants to do the same. But then, a voice within may whisper that such things feel out of reach at this moment, or that perhaps you're lacking something essential. Even so, Your heart is ready to live authentically, to align with who you truly are. And because you're trying to live in integrity with your true self, the world around you might begin to feel out of sync. Changes may be happening that leave you unsettled, as if something just doesn't feel right anymore. When it comes to your surrounding environment, especially the emotions of others, there seems to be a dynamic where you are trying to change, to evolve, but people around you may still be emotionally or materially dependent on you. It's possible that someone close to you feels they can't be happy without you. This dependency might be financial or stem from another form of reliance. It appears that there's a pattern of dependence from someone in your life, and they may be placing a heavy burden on your shoulders. While this may not be the core issue, it's certainly a contributing factor that influences your emotional state. This person could be a colleague, a friend, a romantic partner, or even a family member, someone whose inability to stand on their own adds pressure to your already full plate. You're so close to making a change. You want to take the next step in your life. Deep down, you know it would be the best thing for your personal growth. However, when you think about the people around you, your family, your partner, or others who rely on you, it becomes difficult to make that leap. And this creates an inner conflict, a tension between responsibility and the longing for liberation. Looking back, the reversed page of Pentacles suggests that at some point in the past, perhaps within the last year or 6 months, you may have been avoiding reality. There's a possibility that you didn't want to face certain truths that are now becoming increasingly undeniable. During that time, you might have convinced yourself that things were fine the way they were, that you had enough, that there was no real need to change. You may have tried to silence your inner doubts, reassuring yourself that your current relationship, job, or situation was good enough, and in doing so, you chose to maintain the status quo rather than confront the deeper discomfort you felt. However, it seems that you may have lost a bit of time along the way, time that could have been used to change direction and alter your path sooner. This delay may have come from a tendency to live for others, always trying to meet their expectations and struggling to say no. Because of this inability to refuse or prioritize yourself, you remained in a situation you had already recognized was no longer serving you. Even though you felt drained, you convinced yourself that you had to stay for the sake of others, for your family, for your responsibilities at work. In a way, you avoided facing the full truth and instead tried to maintain a positive outlook on everything. But in doing so, you may have let some precious time slip away. Still, everything unfolds in its own time, and truly, no moment is ever truly wasted. Even if you could have ended a relationship earlier or quit a job sooner, the present moment is exactly when you are finally ready to make that change. And that makes this the right time, your time of transformation. The message from this reading is that even though you've spent time investing in relationships, building trust, and achieving accomplishments, which are all valuable, it's also time to begin something new. New opportunities are approaching, and they represent a turning point, a gateway into a brand new chapter of your life. So now, you can begin to release some of the pressure you've been placing on yourself. If you've been giving 100% of your energy to something, maybe now you can afford to approach it more gently, with less intensity. Just because you've spent time building connections and weaving meaningful bonds doesn't mean you have to continue walking a path that no longer aligns with you. In truth, choosing to change direction, to bring clarity to what has remained ambiguous, and to pursue something fresh, whether it's a new opportunity, a new environment, or new relationships, is not only reasonable, it may also open the door to many beautiful and fulfilling experiences. As we move into the future and look at the final outcome, one of the cards reveals that you won't be able to stay still any longer. The hesitation will lift. You'll make a clear, decisive choice and launch into action with remarkable speed, moving forward without looking back. As a result, you'll finally be liberated from the burdens you've been carrying. Perhaps, right now, you feel overwhelmed, like you're at your breaking point. Or maybe you'll soon realize that the weight you've been bearing is simply too heavy and you just can't keep holding on. Whether this realization comes sooner or later, the message is clear. You will reach a moment when you know, without a doubt, that you've endured enough. And then something will appear. A light, a signal, a guidepost that leads you forward. This sign will help you move through your current difficulties. It marks the preparation for a brighter future, a future that holds blessings and meaningful rewards that have been waiting for you. Let's draw a few more cards to take a closer look at this wonderful future that awaits you. Oh, how incredible! Victory, success, achievement, goals fulfilled. It's genuinely beautiful. You will feel a rush of excitement and joy the moment you sense it arriving. It will be a powerful encouragement, a radiant confirmation that you are finally receiving what you've rightfully earned through your perseverance. Maybe up until now you've felt hesitant, unsure, or even a little disheartened. But this is the moment where that heaviness will start to dissolve. You will begin to forgive yourself, truly and deeply. This is a pivotal turning point, a profound shift in your heart where you no longer hold yourself hostage to past mistakes. Instead, you'll gradually embrace forgiveness and allow yourself to move forward freely. This isn't just a new step, it's a rebirth. The path ahead is filled with clarity, dignity, and the rewards of your strength. You are stepping into the future you deserve. One small step at a time, each steady movement forward is bringing your dreams into reality. Every little effort you've made is building the foundation for something much greater. This is the moment when you begin to realize that nothing you've done has been in vain. All the energy you've invested, every small step taken day by day, is paving the way for something extraordinary. You will be recognized. You will succeed. And you will receive the congratulations and rewards that truly reflect your dedication. The acknowledgement you've longed for is coming, and it will be fully deserved. Even if right now you feel unseen, as though your efforts haven't borne fruit yet, know this: your hard work will be rewarded. Each step forward, no matter how small, is leading you closer to the fulfillment of your bigger dreams. Everything you've done so far is laying the groundwork for lasting success. And this is not some distant possibility. This shift is arriving within the next 3 months. Whether you're watching this in May or at another time, you are entering a powerful period of transformation. During this window, you will attract significant and positive changes into your life. Remember, don't let temporary uncertainty shake your spirit. Even if there are moments of doubt, confusion, or fatigue, stay grounded in your faith. Keep trusting your process. You are much closer than you think. There is no doubt that beautiful things are waiting for you. Incredible blessings are coming your way. Everything you've accumulated up until now, your experiences, your growth, your inner strength, none of it has been wasted. So be patient just a little longer. The universe is gently reminding you to hold on, to give it just a little more time. The forgiveness you may need right now could simply be the permission to let yourself be happy, to allow yourself to live for your own joy, not just for others. And when that happens, it will open the doorway to a future where your actions come from a place of self-love and authenticity. This is the moment where you will truly begin to live for yourself. So then, what is it that you need to forgive yourself for? Let's take a deeper look at this part of your journey. The Reverse Magician card suggests that, in the past, you may have pushed yourself into something driven by intense emotion, perhaps a moment where you told yourself, "I have to try this," or "I really want to do this," without fully considering the long-term consequences. You may have thrown yourself into a situation unprepared. Perhaps you lacked the necessary skills at the time, or you simply weren't ready for what you were trying to take on. This card reflects a time when you tested your limits, but it didn't lead to the success you had hoped for. And now, it's time to release yourself from the burden of that past experience. Forgive yourself for the missteps, the failures, and the moments when things didn't go as planned, because those very experiences shaped you. They gave you strength, maturity, and the readiness you now carry for the next phase of your life. When the Magician appears in reverse, it often signals unrealized potential, something you tried to achieve but couldn't fully manifest. It might have been due to impulsiveness or a lack of clear planning, especially during your younger years or while you were still in school. During that time, you may have lived more freely, said what you felt, acted on whims, and followed your desires without much restraint. There was beauty in that freedom, but it may also have led to painful lessons, failures, disappointments, or regrets that still echo in your heart today. Now, you might find yourself thinking, if only I had done things differently. Perhaps you feel that you hurt someone in the process, or that your decisions caused unintended consequences. These lingering thoughts and self-blame could be keeping you stuck, preventing you from moving forward. They may be holding a part of your spirit in the past, chaining you to a version of yourself that no longer exists. But the truth is, every mistake you made, every attempt that fell short, was not a sign of your inadequacy. It was part of your growth. Those experiences were necessary steps on your path. And now, it's time to forgive that younger version of you, to recognize that they were doing the best they could with what they knew and had at the time. It's time to release the shame, the regret, and the weight of what could have been, so you can walk freely into the life that is waiting for you now. Even though you did nothing wrong, simply living your own life, you may have encountered criticism from those around you. Additionally, The reverse magician can reflect the unique talents and innate abilities you possess, and it's possible that these special qualities have made others feel envious. Perhaps you have a gift for doing things that others find difficult, or you naturally draw attention without even trying, qualities that might unintentionally make others uncomfortable. You may not have fully realized it, but your talents, your light, and your natural magnetism may have sparked jealousy or insecurity in others. And although you never intended to hurt anyone, some people may have responded negatively simply because you were shining too brightly. As a result, you may have started dimming your light. You tried not to stand out, not to express your true self too freely. You may have hidden away the parts of you that wanted to live boldly, to follow your heart, to do what truly brought you joy. Little by little, without fully noticing, you began to suppress that free-spirited part of yourself. And over time, you started to care too much about how others perceived you. This is something that often happens as we grow older. We become more concerned with societal expectations, with how we're viewed by the world. But at your core, you are someone deeply free and boundless in spirit. You have always had a natural sense of liberation and authenticity. Yet somewhere along the way, perhaps because of painful experiences, wounds from rejection, judgment, or misunderstanding, you began to imprison yourself. You shut the door on parts of your essence that were once vibrant and alive. The result is that not only did you suppress your emotional freedom, but you also stifled your power, your talents, your voice, your presence. You dimmed your gifts in order to make others comfortable. You softened your radiance so others wouldn't feel insecure. And in doing so, you began to disconnect from the most alive and inspired parts of yourself. Now is the time to recognize this pattern, to gently awaken those parts that have been hidden for too long. You no longer need to hide your brilliance or apologize for your presence. You were never too much. You were simply being you. And your spirit, your creativity, your light, these are not burdens, but blessings meant to be shared with the world. Now, the time has come for you to unlock and release all of it. This is the moment for you to forgive yourself, to fully accept yourself as you are, including your past mistakes and the moments where you fell short. There is wisdom to be gained from those failures, and you have grown through every experience. But the truth is, you no longer want to repeat the pain that once wounded you so deeply. And in your efforts to avoid being hurt again, you may have unknowingly locked your heart away, closing yourself off from your own true emotions and from the depth of feeling that makes life rich and real. Now is the time to open that door again, to live honestly from your heart, and to allow yourself to move in the direction your soul longs for. I believe this is the moment when you begin to return to your true self. You are ready to start living for you, to fulfill the things you came into this world to do, with renewed passion, with joy, and with a deep sense of freedom. You are about to breathe life into your dreams again. Only this time, it will be different. This time, your dreams will be rooted in self-love and self-acceptance. So the guidance here is, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to carry the weight of always getting everything right. You don't have to hold yourself to impossible standards. Sometimes doing things simply, gently, even playfully, is more than enough. You've worked hard. You've stayed committed. You've carried responsibilities for others, pushed through because you felt you had to, or because you didn't want to disappoint anyone. But you no longer need to carry all of that. This is your permission to release it, to put down the burdens that were never truly yours to hold, to lighten your load, not because you're giving up, but because you're finally choosing yourself. Let life become softer. Let your energy return to you. Let your spirit rise again, unburdened, unapologetic, and fully alive. Shift your perspective. You have the power to change the way you see everything around you. And how can this change begin? It begins with recognizing that the very challenges and hardships you've endured in the past were not meaningless. They were catalysts. They brought you priceless lessons, unexpected opportunities, and new levels of understanding. The reverse Knight of Pentacles suggests that your journey may have felt painfully slow at times. You might have been cautious, perhaps even overly so, and found it difficult to move quickly toward your goals. As a result, some of your dreams or ambitions may not have materialized in the way you hoped, and success may still feel just out of reach. But even so, everything you've gone through has served a purpose. Every delay, every obstacle, every painstaking step was a necessary part of your path, a part of the process required to bring you to what is truly meant for you. As I mentioned earlier, it's all a matter of timing. And when the right time finally comes, the things you achieve will mean so much more because you've earned them through patience, effort, and true personal growth. You will savor your success more deeply, appreciate your joy more fully, because you will know what it took to get there. You will have the strength of experience behind you. Perhaps you have already tested yourself through small challenges, quiet battles you fought alone, inner hurdles no one else could see. And those trials, though modest in appearance, were the very forge that shaped your character. They were preparing you, not just to succeed, but to receive your success with open arms and a grounded heart. What once felt like delay or stagnation was, in truth, sacred preparation. You weren't falling behind, you were being refined. Now, as you begin to see this journey through a new lens, you'll realize that nothing was wasted. Everything was unfolding in perfect rhythm. And now, you're ready to step into a future where joy, fulfillment, and achievement await you, deeper and more meaningful than ever before. So, if your dreams were to come true too easily or too quickly, you might not truly feel the joy of victory. You might not be able to fully savor your success or experience deep gratitude for what you've achieved. On the other hand, when you've walked through trials, faced pain, learned from your mistakes, encountered many different people, and experienced a full range of emotions, then you begin to realize that none of those experiences were meaningless. Those difficult times contributed to your growth. And when you change the way you look at them, you'll begin to see that every moment had a purpose. Even the failures you went through, when seen from a new perspective, become the very moments that shaped who you are today. They've carved the path toward the brighter future that awaits you. Rather than seeing them as misfortunes, consider what they've given you: strength, resilience, wisdom, and depth. Your past did not take you away from your dream. It led you here. And it is still guiding you, step by step, toward what is truly meant for you. So instead of viewing those failures as something to regret, shift your awareness. See them as a necessary part of your becoming. They are not signs of your weakness. They are proof of your journey. They are the very experiences that have forged the person you are now, and they will continue to connect you with the right opportunities and with the success that is aligned with your soul. Now, let's take a look at your growth in the next 3 months. I sense that during this time, change will draw near, and the things you once wished for, things that seemed out of reach, will begin to come into form. For example, if you once dreamed of becoming a teacher but were never able to pursue that path formally, you may begin to realize that you don't need to follow a traditional route. Life itself has already given you lessons, insights, and experiences that qualify you to guide and uplift others. The wisdom you've gained from real-life challenges, rather than classroom instruction, will become the very foundation that allows you to fulfill that dream. You may not have a certificate hanging on your wall, but you carry something far more powerful: true understanding and the ability to inspire others through what you've lived and learned. These next few months will be a time of alignment, when old dreams resurface, not as distant fantasies, but as tangible realities. And you'll realize that what once seemed lost was simply waiting for the right time to be fulfilled, in a way more meaningful and authentic than you ever imagined. For instance, if you once dreamed of becoming a primary school teacher but never had the chance to pursue that path in a conventional way, you can still become a teacher, just in a different form. You might express that calling through writing books, hosting workshops, or leading seminars. Your dream is still entirely possible. It may simply manifest in a way different from what you originally imagined. And though it may not look exactly like the version you once pictured, the essence of what you truly desire, what you've always longed to create and share, will gradually become reality. This is because you've made the decision to live for yourself and to pursue goals that genuinely matter to you. Even the dreams that once felt out of reach will begin to return. You'll find yourself revisiting them, not with longing, but with readiness. Because now, you're prepared to live on your own terms, to honor what is truly important to you, and to act from a place of authenticity. What I sense very clearly is this: the things you once wanted to do, the dreams you left behind or put on hold, are now making their way back to you. And this time, you'll be able to act on them, not out of pressure, not out of expectation, but out of choice. Because you have chosen yourself. You have chosen to live from your truth. And in doing so, you've opened the door for those dreams to finally take root and bloom. The timing is right, and the person you've become is exactly who those dreams have been waiting for. The snake card may be signaling that a new opportunity is on its way to you, one that is intricately tied to your current emotional experiences. It's possible that a certain event or situation will resurface and trigger painful memories from the past, experiences of betrayal, misunderstanding, envy, or deception. These echoes from the past may stem from wounds you haven't yet fully released, moments where you were hurt, where your trust was broken, or where you felt unseen and unacknowledged. Recently, you may have found yourself navigating through similar emotional territory. Perhaps you felt misunderstood, overlooked, or emotionally isolated. These feelings may reappear in the near future, but it's important to remember. Their return is not a setback, but a necessary part of your healing and growth. They are surfacing so you can move through them, this time with awareness, strength, and self-compassion. You may find yourself asking, why is this happening again? Or, why do I always end up in these situations? And yes, it can be confusing, even overwhelming. The snake card, with its image of venom, may symbolize that someone or something in your past poisoned your spirit, whether through harsh words, manipulative actions, or subtle emotional abuse. This toxicity has lingered in your energetic body, like a hidden residue that now asks to be cleansed and released. But the message is this. Within the next month, a powerful shift will take place. You will begin to feel the presence of true love, authentic, nourishing, and gentle love. You will realize that you are, in fact, deeply loved and appreciated. And this realization will not come from flattery or illusion, but from genuine connection. You will feel seen. You will feel understood. The affection and care from those around you will become clearer and more tangible, and this will begin to dissolve the old emotional poison that once held you back. Through this contrast, you will also gain clarity, clear insight into what real love looks and feels like. You'll begin to understand that some of the relationships or emotional bonds you held onto in the past were never true love to begin with. They were attachments born from pain, fear, or longing. But now, you're stepping into a space where you can recognize the difference and choose only what nurtures your heart and honors your soul. By receiving true love, you will awaken and come to a deeper realization of who you truly are. It is the love you hold for yourself that will open your eyes to those who are unworthy of your presence, those who drain your energy, who dim your inner light. These people will become unmistakably clear to you the moment you begin to cherish your own worth. And when that realization settles in, you will no longer feel the need to worry so much about the future. You will return to a state of inner freedom, moving through life with the joyful spontaneity of a child, filled with wonder and excitement. This very spirit, vibrant, unburdened, and authentic, will guide you straight toward genuine love, and you will begin to sense its arrival in the coming days. As you start to live with excitement, aligning with your true self and choosing to do what truly lights you up from within, you may begin to encounter those who share your way of thinking, souls who resonate with your path, your rhythm, your values. Or perhaps, when you begin to honor yourself and live in tune with your own heart, this self-love will act as a mirror, reflecting back to you the things and people that no longer serve your growth. You will start to recognize the toxins embedded deep within your spirit, the emotional residues that have clung to you for far too long. And with this recognition comes the power to release, to soften, to let go. In doing so, you will find yourself shedding layers of heaviness, clearing out the negative energies that have burdened you. If you've been feeling physically unwell or noticing changes in your health, this too may be a signal, a sign that your body and spirit are undergoing a profound transformation. These physical symptoms are not simply random. They're often the body's way of speaking, echoing the deeper healing that is unfolding within. They arise when you begin the journey of reclaiming yourself, when the soul begins to purge what no longer belongs, so that you may return home to your truest, most radiant self. If you feel misunderstood, or as though you are unable to move forward, don't worry. This very moment is significant. It marks a turning point, a threshold for transformation where you begin to discover your true self. What may now seem like an obstacle is actually a powerful opportunity for complete change. From the depths of your current struggles, you will find the light, like a sudden flash emerging from a stormy sky, even when you're standing in the most difficult place. You will sense a mysterious strength rising within you, as if some kind of magic is unfolding, awakening your ability to reclaim and use your own power. When you choose to live in alignment with your true nature, liberation will come, just as symbolized by the Eight of Swords. This inner freedom will dissolve the barriers that have confined you and open the gates to genuine joy and lasting freedom. You may be experiencing a hazy, unclear sensation, as though you're trapped within a heavy, darkened cloud. And now is the moment to break free from that fog, to release yourself from all the invisible chains that have bound you. It's almost like a mystical tale, There may have been spiritual curses, unseen forces, or inherited burdens that have sealed off your talents, muted your gifts. These bindings could stem from past life experiences, deep wounds, betrayals, or heartbreaks that you've carried silently across time. And because of those lingering scars, you may have unconsciously chosen to suppress your own potential. Maybe you once dared to step forward, to stretch beyond your limits, but after facing painful challenges and repeated fear, you decided to play it safe, avoiding anything too risky or uncertain. At some point, you may have started to believe that trying again would only lead to failure. Or perhaps, in a former lifetime, you accomplished beautiful things. You carried love and light within you, but were misunderstood by those around you. You may have endured deep sorrow as a result, even being forced to walk away from your truth. There's also a possibility that you were stripped of your gifts by dark forces, energies that sought to silence your brilliance. These echoes of loss and suppression may have followed you across the years, leaving you unable to fully access your inner power for a long time. For those of you who feel you've been held back for years, struggling to move forward without understanding why, the influence of these past life memories may still be lingering in your energy field. This card brings forth the message that these issues are rooted in your soul's past, and now is the sacred time to confront them and free yourself from their hold. This is your invitation to break the old spells, dissolve the karmic bonds, and step fully into your power. What once dimmed your light no longer holds dominion over you, if you choose to awaken. Without a doubt, you possess a mysterious and powerful force within you, something akin to a witch in the world of Harry Potter. You may carry deeply potent spiritual abilities, and now, at long last, those gifts are ready to be released. I believe this will be a dramatically transformative moment in your life, a time when you finally recognize your power and begin to use it freely and confidently. Over the next 3 months, new opportunities will come your way. Joyful news is on its way to you. If you are in a relationship, the person you love may start moving toward you. They may take the initiative to reconnect or approach you in a way that fills your heart with joy. The future you are heading toward is truly bright, and happiness is on its way. However, before everything becomes clear, you may have to pass through a wave of intense emotions. There may be moments when you find yourself in tears, or times when anger, fear, or anxiety rise to the surface. These emotional currents are not here to harm you, they are here to cleanse you. As you release yourself from the spiritual curses and energetic blockages, many of which you unconsciously created as a form of self-protection, you'll begin to feel lighter, freer, and more in touch with your authentic essence. You will be able to move forward, no longer paralyzed by fear, ready to face challenges head-on and walk toward the one you love, or to pursue the path that your soul truly longs for. Before you can take aligned action, there may still be internal battles to face, moments of doubt, resistance, and deep inner struggle. These are not obstacles to avoid, but thresholds to cross. They are initiations preparing you for the next level of your growth. You will need to move through these emotional tests in order to unlock the profound transformation that awaits you. Once you do, a new life will unfold, one in which you live boldly, guided by your truth, free from the invisible chains that once held you back. This is not only a turning point, but a rebirth of your inner power and your ability to create a life rooted in purpose, joy, and love. This is the truth. I'm not hiding anything, and I'm certainly not exaggerating. Perhaps you've gone through similar experiences in the past, and each time, you've managed to overcome them. That's why, once you awaken and recognize your true essence, you will overcome these challenges again. As a result, in the near future, you will attain the things you deeply long for. You'll find yourself reaching the destinations you've dreamed of, and the person you've been waiting for will be drawn to you as well. This means you are moving toward a relationship built on mutual feelings, a connection where both hearts resonate in harmony. What you desire will come into being. Your love, your dreams, your inner vision, they will manifest. You and the life you've always hoped for are now heading in the same direction. This is the beautiful future that awaits you. You're not simply moving forward on your own. You're receiving a response, a reciprocal energy from the other side. That's why everything will begin to unfold quickly. This acceleration is happening because you've come home to yourself. You've awakened and returned to the truth of who you are, and that shift within is what draws your desires closer with incredible speed. And this truth doesn't only apply to love. It extends to your work, your career, your dreams, and the goals you've set for yourself. What you long to achieve will come to you, and you'll find that this energy can be applied to every aspect of your life. Take a moment to truly listen and reflect on this message. If you're feeling nervous or uncertain about the challenges ahead, remember, before every major transformation, we must pass through trials that ask us to look inward with honesty and depth. In those moments, allow your heart to open. Let the winds of change carry you without fear. You are going to be just fine, don't worry. Everything is going to be okay. When you make the decision to open the door of your heart and step through it, when you choose to live in alignment with your true nature, this bright, beautiful future will begin to unfold before you. The moment you stop fearing your own truth and simultaneously open yourself to others, you will begin to feel a deep sense of connection with your authentic self and with the people around you. Opening your heart means living honestly, transparently, and with integrity. And when you do that, everything you truly desire will start making its way toward you. Congratulations, this is a powerful turning point in your journey. Seek out those who genuinely understand you, who connect with you on a soul level, people with whom you feel a natural resonance, those who bring out the best in you simply by being near. Spend time with these souls, because when you're with them, your true self will feel safe, supported, and free to shine. Share your dreams with them. Talk about the visions and ideas you long to bring into reality. Create conversations that spark inspiration, conversations that uplift your spirit and excite you about the future. And if, for now, you haven't yet found such kindred spirits, speak to the universe. Let it know that you're ready to meet them. Visualize those moments as if they are already happening. Imagine the joy of finding people who truly see you and trust that they are on their way into your life. This brings us to the end of the reading for Group 1. If you enjoyed this message, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and show your support by liking the video. Your encouragement is a tremendous source of motivation, and it's what helps me continue to bring more heartfelt messages your way. If something in this reading touched your heart, I invite you to leave a comment or even a small symbol to let me know that the message has found its way to you. I truly cherish your comments and look forward to reading your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to share what's on your mind. Thank you for staying with me until the very end of the video. I'll see you again in the next reading. Hello to those of you who chose Pile 2. Thank you for waiting. Now, I will begin the reading for those who are drawn to the second pile. I hope this reading brings you healing, fresh insights, and heartwarming moments filled with love and clarity. Let's explore the most beautiful future that you are moving toward. It seems that many of you may currently be in a romantic relationship, or perhaps there is someone you deeply care about, or something you are truly passionate about and longing to pursue. Those with a strong yearning or emotional investment will find their energy reflected in this reading. The first card we have is the Queen of Wands, which represents your current emotional state. So, how are you truly feeling at this moment? It appears that there may be a sense of confusion or uncertainty surrounding someone. Perhaps you are feeling jealousy, frustration, or a lingering sense that things are not unfolding the way you had hoped. There seems to be an emotional restlessness, a kind of internal turbulence that is making your present experience difficult to manage. Although the Queen of Wands can represent positivity and inner strength in many situations, such as confidence and an optimistic mindset, here, it seems to be highlighting a more shadowed aspect. This could be due to emotional fatigue, disappointment, or dissatisfaction with recent events. You might feel as though you're no longer in control of your emotions, or that your emotional responses are fluctuating rapidly. There may even be moments when you feel disconnected from your true self, as if you're being carried away by waves of emotion rather than guided by clarity or reason. This emotional turbulence might not stem solely from within. It may also be influenced by external factors, such as the behavior or energy of someone close to you, possibly the person you're involved with romantically. The next card, the Chariot in reverse, indicates a deep sense of being stuck, unable to move forward or break free from a limiting situation. There could be indecisiveness, a lack of direction, or difficulty asserting your will to take control of your circumstances. You might be feeling as though you're tangled in something that keeps pulling you back, unable to make meaningful progress, and this stagnation is greatly impacting your emotional well-being. The current state of affairs might be leaving you with a sense of helplessness, as if no matter what you do, you can't quite gain the upper hand. It may feel like external events are steering your life more than your own choices, leading to inner discontent and emotional imbalance. These energies can be draining and confusing, especially when you deeply desire movement, clarity, and emotional stability. But remember, These cards are not simply reflections of where you are, they are also invitations to shift, to awaken, and to begin seeing your current situation from a more empowered perspective. You may be feeling that the person in question once said something to you, perhaps made a promise or expressed an intention to do something, but then failed to follow through. It's possible you're now questioning whether their words were genuine or simply spoken in a fleeting moment, maybe under the influence of emotion, or even carelessness, like something said while intoxicated. In the past, they seemed enthusiastic, sincere, even eager. But now, things feel different. There's a shift in the air, an energy that no longer feels as certain, leaving you in a state of confusion and emotional ambiguity. You may be sensing that what you once trusted or hoped for isn't progressing the way you expected. What once felt full of potential now seems misaligned, and the outcome is no longer matching what you had envisioned. This doesn't only apply to romantic relationships. It may also be manifesting in your career or other plans you've been nurturing. That sense of limbo, of standing still without clear direction, has chipped away at your confidence and your ability to act decisively. It's as if you've lost the spark that once pushed you forward, and now you're stuck wondering whether to continue or retreat. The appearance of the reverse Six of Cups in your past position highlights this connection to something unresolved, perhaps a nostalgic attachment to earlier memories or emotional experiences that still linger in your heart. It's possible you once felt incredibly hopeful about a certain relationship, believing that this person truly cared, that they were slowly moving closer to you in both presence and intention. Or, in your professional life, you may have been offered an opportunity that seemed promising, a chance for advancement or positive transformation. For a while, it felt like everything was unfolding beautifully. But now the landscape has changed. You may feel isolated in your efforts, uncertain, as though what once felt warm and meaningful has grown distant and unfamiliar. When you look back, that chapter of your life may seem golden, filled with hope, purpose, or even love. But in the present moment, there's a quiet realization that time has passed. What once felt alive may now exist only in memory, no longer present in the reality before you. Perhaps over the last year, or even just the past 6 months, you've undergone a major shift. Maybe it was the ending of a relationship, the release of an old dream, or the decision to walk away from something in order to become more independent. At the time, you may have truly believed that stepping away was the key to something better. But now, a sense of unease has begun to settle in. Doubts are rising. You're beginning to question whether the choices you made were the right ones. A quiet, persistent uncertainty has crept in, leaving you wondering if you can still trust your own decisions. It's as if your confidence, once firm, is now wavering, shadowed by emotional fatigue and a longing for reassurance. In addition, you may be experiencing difficulty in harmonizing with those around you. There might be a growing sense of disconnect, an emotional or energetic misalignment, with people you were once close to. Perhaps you've drifted apart from friends who used to feel like soul companions. Even if you still have affection for them, the timing no longer aligns, or the rhythm of your lives seems mismatched. Some individuals may have changed in ways you didn't expect, and you're beginning to realize that certain connections no longer resonate with who you are becoming. This phase may feel like an emotional cleansing, a quiet, natural process of releasing relationships that no longer serve your growth. At the same time, you may find yourself struggling to stay consistent with your own decisions. The environment around you may be shifting too rapidly, making it difficult for you to catch up or stay grounded. The current pace of life feels fast, almost overwhelming, and your emotional self may be having trouble syncing with this momentum. It's as though events are racing ahead while your heart lags behind, uncertain and disoriented in the face of so many changes. There's a sense of emotional overload, as if you're being swept up in a whirlwind, unsure how to regain your footing. This current stream of life may be rushing so quickly that it's left you feeling disconnected from yourself. You may feel as though you're no longer anchored in your core identity, like a part of you is missing, or perhaps just struggling to keep up. This emotional turbulence is something many people may be experiencing right now. The energy of this moment is deeply transitional. Moreover, there may be those among you who have chosen to release long-held responsibilities or step away from roles that once defined you. You may have carried certain duties with great strength and grace, but now comes a realization. It is time to let go. Not because you failed, but because that chapter has been fulfilled. You've done your part, and there's nothing more that needs to be carried forward. This, too, is a form of liberation. It marks a profound shift, a turning point in your life where surrender becomes a sacred act of reclaiming yourself. This is a moment of deep realignment, an invitation to live more lightly, more truthfully, and more in tune with your evolving spirit. However, in your case, it seems that there are external factors influencing your emotions. What you're feeling may not solely stem from within you. It's as if you are on an emotional roller coaster, but the instability isn't entirely self-created. It may be shaped by your environment, the people around you, and the energy of the situations you're involved in. These fluctuating emotions might be a response to the emotional atmosphere surrounding you, meaning that your internal experience is, at least in part, being stirred by external waves. This lack of emotional stability is not a reflection of weakness, but rather a sign that your energy field is absorbing and reacting to forces beyond your control. Looking ahead, the appearance of the Ace of Cups in your future brings a beautiful message. Love and deep emotional connection are coming into your life. This card is a symbol of heartfelt happiness, authentic affection, emotional harmony, and the joy of receiving love from others. You will begin to feel that what you've been longing for is finally taking shape. Dreams and desires you've held close to your heart will start to manifest. Your honest feelings will be met with tenderness, and the emotional reciprocity you've yearned for will begin to flow toward you. However, when we look at the outcome more closely, there's a slight complication. This card appears in reverse. Instead of embodying clarity, spiritual grace, and a broad perspective as it would in its upright position, the reversed Ace of Cups brings forth something more vulnerable, more human. It suggests that while you are beginning to feel again, truly, deeply feel, there's also a sense of being overwhelmed by emotion. It may feel like your heart is wide open, but instead of peace, there's a flood, a powerful current that at times may seem too strong to contain. You may notice that you're more sensitive than usual, more affected by the people around you, and more prone to emotional highs and lows. This could be a sign that you are slowly returning to yourself, learning to reconnect with your emotions, reawakening to your capacity for love and empathy. But with this emotional openness comes a heightened sensitivity, and that can make you feel vulnerable, as if you're losing grip of your inner stability. When happiness arrives, it often brings with it unexpected companions, worry, sorrow, or fear. That's the paradox of being human. To love deeply is also to fear the loss of what we love. In this world, where both light and shadow coexist, the more joy we experience, the more we become aware of what's at stake. So, yes, you may encounter breathtaking moments of connection and beauty, but along with them, you may also have to face the shadows, anxieties, sadness, or a quiet fear of impermanence. These emotional contrasts are not flaws or setbacks, they are simply part of the human experience. The presence of joy does not exclude the presence of fear. They walk hand in hand, reminding you just how alive you truly are. Therefore, when you finally attain happiness, there may be another side to the story, one that you must prepare yourself to accept with emotional maturity. To embrace joy, you may, at times, unintentionally cause disappointment for someone else. For example, if you win first place in a competition or receive a gold medal, it means that someone else will receive second or third. Every triumph carries with it a quiet shadow, the unspoken reality that someone else has not achieved the same outcome. Likewise, when you find yourself in a deeply fulfilling relationship, feeling immense joy and emotional richness, there may also be a part of you that realizes, should you ever lose that person, the pain would be just as profound. This is a very grounded truth of life. Deep down, you may already be feeling this hidden tension, the fear of the shadow that lurks behind joy, the anxiety that clings to what we hold most dear. That is perhaps why you sometimes feel unease or subtle worry. One moment, you might be overwhelmed with excitement and gratitude, and the next, a sudden wave of anxiety or fear may rise within you. This fluctuation may not be random. It could be a gentle echo from the future, an emotional signal that a major shift is approaching. The Ace of Cups appears in the advice position, offering a message of reassurance. Love is on its way. The things you've longed for are drawing near. The dreams that have stirred your heart will begin to take form. You are meant to receive beauty, affection, emotional fulfillment, and the connection you've yearned for. However, even as this promise draws closer, your heart may still be sensing the darker side, the uncertainty, the what-ifs, the fear of losing what hasn't even fully arrived. You might be subconsciously holding yourself back, afraid that opening up to love will also open the door to vulnerability and potential loss. But this is exactly what the heart must do. It must face that fear. True love, real happiness, and deep emotional connection require you to be open, even when you are afraid. It requires you to trust that you are worthy of receiving what is good, even if the outcome is uncertain. The key is not to avoid the fear, but to acknowledge it, breathe through it, and still choose to open your heart. Let yourself receive the joy that is meant for you. Don't shrink from love because of the possibility of pain. You are ready. You deserve the fullness of love, and the depth of connection that you've always known your soul is here to experience. I believe you are currently going through a profound transformation. This is a time of powerful change for you. The people, environments, and situations that once felt familiar and safe, those constants that made you feel grounded, are now beginning to shift. And while that change can feel unsettling, even frightening, this fear is entirely natural. It's a deeply human response. If you are sensing this fear, it means you're aware of what lies ahead. It means you can feel the currents of change moving toward you, and that awareness in itself is proof that you are stepping closer to a new chapter. This fear is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you are nearing something meaningful. A bright future with great opportunities is calling to you. So if you find yourself feeling anxious, uncertain, or unclear, it's okay. These are normal reactions to a moment of transformation. Once you recognize this, you may begin to feel more at ease. Understanding that you are in the midst of a transition helps lift the weight of self-doubt. Embrace the uncertainty, because it is a signpost that you are approaching a pivotal turning point in your life. Now, let's look into the beautiful things awaiting you in the future. I'll draw a few more cards to deepen the insight. The Seven of Pentacles appears, bringing a message about effort, investment, and the frustration of delayed rewards. You may have worked tirelessly toward a goal in the past, invested your time, energy, heart, and soul into something you deeply cared about, only to find that the results did not meet your expectations. You may have felt that all your sacrifices amounted to little, or that the universe was slow in responding to your devotion. However, this card is not here to tell you that you failed. Quite the opposite. It's here to remind you that your efforts were not in vain, even if the outcomes took a different shape than you had imagined. Sometimes, what seems like delay is actually divine timing rearranging your path for something even better. Following this, the Queen of Cups emerges, a radiant, affirming presence. She brings with her the energy of deep emotional fulfillment, intuitive knowing, and heart-centered abundance. This card suggests that what you've been waiting for, the dreams you've held quietly in your heart, will indeed come true. You will receive what you've longed for. The love, recognition, healing, and emotional satisfaction you've been seeking will find their way to you. And when they do, it will feel deeply nourishing, like a warm tide washing over the weariness of the past. Everything you've endured, every disappointment, every moment of doubt, will be answered. You will be seen. You will be rewarded. The dreams you once feared might never come to life will begin to blossom, and you will discover genuine joy and contentment in what you have built, one step at a time. Your patience, your resilience, your faith, they will not be forgotten. They are leading you now to the life you were always meant to live. If you've gone through painful experiences, deep emotional wounds, and have made personal sacrifices in pursuit of something meaningful, know that those wounds are now beginning to heal, and you are on the verge of receiving something truly beautiful. This is the moment when the universe starts to give back to you. You are stepping into a time of well-deserved reward. You may receive a heartfelt confession from someone you love, or your gifts and talents, perhaps once overlooked or hidden, will finally be recognized and given the space to flourish. These abilities will open doors to the things you've long dreamed of attaining. This message is reflected in the Queen of Cups, a symbol of emotional abundance, nurturing love, and heartfelt fulfillment. In contrast to your past efforts, times when you gave so much, tried so hard, and still felt emotionally empty or unseen, this card now promises a different kind of success. Perhaps you've already achieved certain goals in the material world, even reached a place of financial stability, yet still felt that something was missing. Now, the emptiness is giving way to joy. Your heart is ready to be filled with love, connection, peace, and emotional richness. You will begin to feel whole, and blessings will flow toward you naturally, without strain. Let's now explore the next layer of this unfolding story. The card Wedding appears, signaling the arrival of something sacred and significant. This may be a literal union, such as a romantic commitment or marriage, or it may be symbolic, a powerful alignment between you and your highest path. Either way, It reveals that you've drawn something miraculous into your life. What you've wished for is becoming reality. There's a sense of divine timing here, a long-awaited event beginning to take shape, carrying the energy of celebration and heartfelt joy. If you've recently struggled, feeling like you were stuck, directionless, or emotionally drained, this card brings a turning point. Perhaps you couldn't even imagine feeling excited again. But this shift, this blessing, will ignite a renewed sense of vitality within you. It's as if the spark that had dimmed inside your soul is being relit. All you need is that first small step. Once you take it, everything will start to move more smoothly. Your path will feel lighter, your heart more hopeful, and your direction more clear. You are moving forward now, not by force, but with ease, trust, and a quiet joy that comes from knowing you are finally aligning with what your soul truly deserves. All of your energy is now being concentrated on what matters most to you, and that, in itself, is the core message being delivered to you. You don't need to scatter yourself across unnecessary efforts or distractions. You simply need to focus your heart, your time, and your spirit on what truly matters. Whether it's love, a life purpose, or a deeply held dream, you will achieve what you desire most. You are beginning to align with the version of yourself you've longed to become, the future you've envisioned in your heart. If your desire is to get married, you will attract a partner who mirrors your ideal connection. If you're already with someone, your relationship will deepen, becoming more intimate, more emotionally fulfilling. This is the future the cards are revealing to you, not just a possibility, but a vibrational truth that is gradually being drawn into your reality. And when that time comes, you may no longer feel the need for anything more, because you will have attained the one thing that matters most to you. Even if right now you're feeling uncertain, unsure about what decisions to make or which direction to take, there is, at the core of your heart, a single clear desire, a singular focus that will bring you a sense of peace and wholeness once it is realized. You'll begin to give yourself fully to that goal. Your energy will flow entirely toward it with unwavering intent. If you've already discovered the path, career, or calling that resonates deeply with your soul, you will pour your passion into it with everything you have. There will be no holding back, no hesitation. You'll stop giving your time or space to things that no longer resonate, to people or environments that drain rather than support your growth. This is a moment of refining your life, of clearing away the noise so that your world becomes a sacred space, filled only with what truly deserves to be there. You are no longer willing to carry what does not belong to your future. And in this act of release, you reclaim the full force of your power, directing it with clarity and grace toward the life your heart knows is possible. That is exactly why you will feel fulfilled. You are someone who has poured immense effort into your journey, often carrying heavy burdens on your own and doing your best to move forward through it all. You've worked hard, perhaps more than you give yourself credit for. There may have been times when you felt like you hadn't done much at all, moments when you questioned whether you had tried hard enough. But the truth is, you have been thinking deeply, exploring paths, trying different ways to live and survive in this world. You've been persistent, resilient, and quietly determined, and all of that matters. All of it counts, and all of it will be honored. The future is preparing to reward you in ways that are deeply deserved. I find myself truly moved by this. It brings me close to tears. Congratulations, your future will be one of abundance, wholeness, and peace. These cards carry such powerful energy, and they speak of something extraordinary that is on its way to you. You will attract incredible things, and this isn't just a gentle promise, it's a message filled with certainty and warmth. You are walking into a chapter of your life that will feel like a long-awaited homecoming. You are someone who has accumulated immense spiritual merit, not just in this lifetime, but across past lifetimes as well. There is a sense that your ancestors, too, have laid the groundwork, silently supporting you through their own sacrifices and virtues. The blessings that await you are the natural fruit of everything you've given, everything you've endured, and everything you've become. Your future is radiant, truly radiant. It will feel like sunlight breaking through after a long, heavy storm. There will be a sense of lightness, of liberation. You'll feel free to move forward again, not with hesitation, but with joy and renewed energy. Perhaps you are already beginning to sense this shift, already feeling its presence quietly building in your life. And I must say, this message touches me deeply. I feel such joy on your behalf that it's difficult to put into words. There's a fullness in my heart, but I also remind myself to stay composed, to ensure that what I share with you remains clear and grounded. Still, Please know that what I feel for you in this moment is pure happiness. You are so worthy of the beautiful life that is unfolding before you. And it is coming, truly it is coming. What I want to say is, you will achieve what you've been wishing for. I truly believe that. However, I also understand that some of you may be thinking, I've heard messages like this many times before, but they never seem to come true. You might be feeling that these words don't apply to you, or that this vision of the future isn't realistic. And that's okay. You don't have to believe it right away. I'm not asking you to place your faith in this instantly if your heart isn't ready. But what I do hope you understand is that this is the future you are calling in, whether you realize it or not. Haven't you felt it? That quiet but undeniable sense that something joyful is approaching? That something in your energy is shifting? Maybe you're beginning to draw in meaningful relationships, deep friendships, romantic love, or powerful connections in your career. Maybe you're sensing a new lightness in your heart, like a subtle wave of happiness beginning to rise. That is your soul responding to what's already on its way to you. And what's most important is that, when this moment arrives, you'll finally be able to thank yourself. You'll look back and realize just how far you've come, how much effort, patience, and courage you've carried with you. You'll feel grateful for the version of you who kept going, even when it was hard. You'll be able to whisper a quiet but profound thank you to yourself. And with that gratitude in your heart, you will move forward, not just gently, but with strength and clarity, fully aligned with what you truly want. This is the future you're attracting. The cards are not only showing you what is possible, they're reminding you that this is already in motion. You are shaping this future through every step you take, every choice you make, and every moment you choose to listen to your heart over your doubt. You may choose to believe or not. That choice is always yours. But please know, this vision of your future is not a fantasy. It is the result of your own energy, your own heart, and your own transformation. You are not chasing it, it's coming to meet you, and it's closer than you think. Then let's take a look at how this process is unfolding. What are the key factors that will help you achieve these beautiful outcomes? Let's explore the driving forces and the origins of the changes that are about to take place. Perhaps right now, you might be feeling a bit unclear or uncertain. So, what will be the triggers or catalysts that create the space for these wonderful things to manifest? The card Protection Boundaries has appeared in your spread. This suggests that there may be some form of protective barriers or limitations at play, either from people around you or perhaps from within yourself, that have been preventing you from stepping out of your comfort zone. These boundaries might have been keeping you in a safe space, but at the same time, they may also have been holding you back from growth or new experiences. Whether it's emotional walls, self-imposed limitations, or protective instincts shaped by past experiences, these energies are being acknowledged right now. However, following this card is the universe, which brings a powerful message of divine connection and expanded awareness. This is the energy of stepping into alignment with the greater flow of life, a sign that the universe is ready to support you in breaking through the limitations of the past. This card suggests that you are being gently, yet firmly, guided out of old patterns and into a new phase of possibilities. It's a shift from feeling stuck or restricted toward recognizing that the world is much larger than what you've previously allowed yourself to experience. Together, these cards indicate that while you may currently feel trapped or uncertain, you are in fact standing on the threshold of a powerful transformation. Your willingness to soften your inner defenses and trust the unfolding process will allow the universe to deliver new chances, new people, and new directions into your life. What was once a boundary of protection can now become a bridge to opportunity, as long as you allow your perspective to expand and your heart to remain open. This is not just about letting go of fear, but about embracing the unknown with a sense of faith that something greater is guiding you forward. If right now you're feeling lost, or it seems like the things you've been hoping for aren't unfolding as you wished, or perhaps you're experiencing anger or frustration because someone hasn't met your expectations, or because certain desires remain unfulfilled, then this is the sign that change is calling. These feelings of dissatisfaction, the sense of being stuck or incomplete, are not here to punish you. They are catalysts, the very sparks that ignite the beginning of great transformation. You may feel like you haven't achieved the results you long for, as if things are left unfinished or incomplete, but this is merely a temporary phase. Remember, the experiences you're facing now are laying the groundwork for the beautiful opportunities that await you. Even if it feels like something is missing, or like your current efforts haven't brought success yet, this period is actually part of the necessary preparation for a significant turning point. This is the fertile soil in which your future breakthroughs are growing. When these feelings arise, of lack, of disappointment, try to see them not as signs of failure, but as messengers inviting you to step into alignment with your next chapter. Trust that this discomfort is not in vain. It's part of the transformation, and the blessings are on their way. They will come to you when you are truly ready. I mentioned earlier that these very experiences are your triggers, didn't I? So don't be afraid when they appear. The reason is simple. When these feelings show up, it means you're in the midst of your journey. I've said before, when one thing occurs, its opposite is already on the way. This means that when hardship arises, when life throws challenges at you, that is also the exact moment when good things begin to stir beneath the surface. Humans are often more easily drawn to the weight of negative emotions in the face of adversity, and because of that, we tend to feel those heavier energies more vividly in our daily lives. But don't worry. I want you to feel assured and supported in this moment. Even if it doesn't seem clear yet, you are in a process that is sacred and meaningful. There is a rhythm to it, a cosmic balance at play. The darkness you feel now is not permanent. It is the backdrop that will make the light shine even brighter when it arrives. When you encounter these challenges, remember that they are not punishments. They are opportunities to protect and reclaim yourself. It's possible that in the past, you often acted out of concern for others, placing their needs above your own. You may have prioritized someone else's happiness, made efforts to please others, and in doing so, neglected the care and attention your own heart truly needed. Over time, this pattern may have left you with a sense of having sacrificed too much, of having lost touch with your own desires while constantly giving to others. So if you find yourself in a situation that leaves you feeling sad, disappointed, or emotionally depleted, try not to expect others to change just to make you feel better. Do not place the responsibility for your healing on their actions. And though it's human to occasionally feel the urge to criticize or blame others, and that too is a part of being real, it's far more healing to turn inward with compassion. Rather than directing your pain outward, offer yourself gentleness. Wrap yourself in the kind of care you've long offered others. This is a time to protect yourself, to cradle your own heart with love and patience, because this act of self-devotion is the most important foundation of all. Do the things that help your heart feel safe and whole again. These are not small gestures. They are sacred rituals for your healing, both now and for the path ahead. If at this moment you're sitting with sorrow, disappointment, or emotional wounds, don't be afraid. These experiences are not signs that you are broken or heading for more pain. They are signals from deep within, inviting you to finally look at the old wounds you might have quietly carried for years, wounds that have long gone unacknowledged, unseen, or dismissed. It may be that in the past, you bore your pain alone. You may have continued to show up for others, helping them, supporting them, shielding them from suffering, while silently enduring your own. You may have believed that your role was to hold others up, even at the expense of your own emotional safety. But now, these very emotions surfacing are here to offer you a chance to reverse that pattern, to offer yourself the love, protection, and healing you have so freely given to the world. There may be times when you find yourself feeling intense negative emotions toward someone. Perhaps you're carrying anger, resentment, or a strong urge to finally speak the words you've long kept inside. Maybe you feel that forgiveness is impossible, that the hurt runs too deep. If you're experiencing these emotions, it's a clear sign that they're asking to be acknowledged, processed, and released. Don't let these heavy feelings take control of your life. Don't let them define you. The Turn Criticism into Kindness card gently reminds you that instead of lashing out at others or turning harsh words inward, you can begin to transform these emotions into understanding, compassion, and kindness. This doesn't mean you're expected to suppress your pain or pretend everything is okay. It simply invites you to soften, to meet your anger not with more anger, but with awareness. Yet, let's be honest, this path is not always easy. There will be times when you cannot be gentle with others, and that's okay. You're not a saint. You're human. You have limits. You have wounds. And you're allowed to feel all of it. What matters most, however, is that you do not abandon yourself in the process. Do not allow your inner critic to become louder than your inner healer. Do not turn the sharp edge of blame inward, cutting yourself down with guilt or shame. Instead, become your own sanctuary. Protect yourself. Love yourself as someone who deserves every ounce of care, tenderness, and protection. What you are being called to do now is tend to your inner child, the part of you that still remembers pain, rejection, confusion, or being misunderstood. That inner child still lives within you, quietly hoping to be seen and nurtured. Wrap your arms around that part of you. Offer it the healing it has waited so long to receive. Each person has their own way of caring for their inner child. For some, it might mean resting when the world feels overwhelming. For others, it might be through creative expression, writing, crying, seeking connection, or simply allowing themselves to feel without judgment. Whatever your way may be, know this: it is necessary. You deserve to be held, not only by others, but most of all, by yourself. Now is the time to offer yourself what you once needed from the world. And in doing so, you become whole again. There may be some people who aren't quite ready to touch these deeper emotions, and if that's the case, you are welcome to skip this part. But for those who feel drawn to explore further, I invite you to continue with me. I'd like to gently guide you into a healing practice now, and I ask for your openness and trust as we begin. Right now, what are you feeling? If there's a sense of unease, vague emotions, or lingering thoughts that have not yet been resolved, gently bring your awareness to them. Take a deep breath in and begin to breathe slowly and evenly. Close your eyes. Place one hand over the center of your chest, right where your heart resides, and simply feel. As I speak, I will be channeling energy of love and light from the universe, directly into that space. You don't have to do anything except relax and receive. You are safe here. You are protected. I promise I will not do anything that could cause harm to you. Allow yourself to feel at ease, because you are enveloped in the warmth of love and divine protection. Now, gently close your eyes and allow yourself to relax even more deeply. Once you feel that sense of stillness, begin to visualize yourself at the age of 5. You are a small child again. That little one is standing right in front of you now. Look at their face. What expression do you see there? What do they look like? What might they want to say to you? Let yourself have a moment of quiet connection. Try speaking with them, even if only through your heart. This child has never left you. They've always been with you, living within you. They were there with you through every joy and every sorrow, through anger, confusion, laughter, and tears. They are you, your younger self, your inner child. And now they're worried about you. Your inner child is gently calling out to you, whispering, "Look at me. Please see me." But today, the child within you is the one offering you comfort. They tell you that everything is going to be okay. They remind you that you no longer need to carry all this worry alone. They assure you that it's safe to feel. You are allowed to experience all of your emotions, even the ones that are hard, like sadness or anger. You came into this life not just to achieve or to be perfect, but to feel. You were born to fully experience the wide, beautiful spectrum of human emotion. So there is no need to suppress or reject any part of what you feel. You are not wrong for being sensitive. You are not too much for feeling deeply. Your pain is not an inconvenience. It is part of your path, an invitation to remember, to reconnect, to return to the wholeness that has always lived inside you. And your inner child is here to remind you, no matter what happens, you are never alone. The child within you is gently saying, "If you want to cry, let's cry together. I'll be glad to cry with you." If you feel anger rising inside you, this child is saying, "Let me be angry with you." If you're hurting, I will stand beside you and share that anger with you. This child wants you to know that whenever you need to express your emotions, it will always be there, to support you, to hold space for you, and to feel it all with you. Right now, perhaps one of the greatest lessons unfolding for you is the liberation of emotion, learning how to truly feel and accept everything that arises within you. And in this moment, your inner child is not someone who needs your care. It has become your ally, your most devoted supporter. Try talking to that child inside you just for a moment. If you could say anything to them, what would it be? Likely it would be, "Thank you for understanding me. Thank you for being here, even when I couldn't hear your voice. Thank you for holding on." Allow yourself to feel the emotions you may have buried deep within. Let them surface just as they are. Whether it's grief, longing, rage, relief, or joy, whatever it may be, welcome it without fear. And yes, if what you feel is joy, allow yourself to fully revel in it. Let joy flow through you without hesitation. You may have grown afraid of joy, knowing that its opposite, sadness, tends to follow close behind. But it's okay. It's natural. All emotions exist on a spectrum, and they are meant to be felt. Joy and sorrow, light and shadow, each has a sacred role to play. So don't resist any of them. Let them coexist in your heart. At this very moment, I am sending you the energy of love, pure, unconditional love. You don't need to worry. You're safe. You can feel this. The energy I'm sending you is not just any light. It is love at its source. It is the primal light of the universe, a radiance more profound than anything the ordinary eye can see. It is not born of duality, not a blend of shadow and brightness, but the original, undivided light, the source of creation, the essence of love itself. This energy is flowing to you now, guiding you back into harmony with your true self. It is helping you return to your own center, your home within. And once you've allowed your emotions to rise, to speak, to be honored, you might find that tears begin to fall. If they do, let them. Let them fall freely, without shame. Let them be the release your soul has been waiting for. Let each tear carry away the weight you've carried alone for far too long. Let it be your cleansing, your softening, your return. Now, ask your inner child, are you okay? Is there something that feels difficult for you right now? And how does your inner child respond? If the answer is no, if there's something that's making them anxious, unsure, or sad, then pause and listen. Truly listen. Don't rush to fix or change anything. Just be there, as a loving presence, offering your full attention and gentle empathy. If you wish, you can pause the video here. And if you feel the need to take your time to speak with your inner child, give yourself that space. You deserve it. I'll continue on from here, but when you're ready, come back and hold your inner child close. Embrace them tightly and say, "Thank you for always being with me.
You've done so well.
Everything is okay now. You don't have to worry anymore." Let them hear you say, "We'll keep walking this path together. We will love and support each other, always." And as you say that, end it with a long, warm embrace, a heartfelt thank you, and the words, "I love you." When you feel ready, you may open your eyes. If you wish, you can return to this practice as many times as you need. This is not a one-time ritual. It's a sacred conversation you can revisit whenever your heart calls for it. I often do the same. And I apologize if I've stepped outside the traditional structure of a tarot reading to guide you through this healing space. But I hope you understand, it comes from a place of deep care. Now, let us return to what lies ahead. In the final outcome of your spread, the Clover card has appeared, a radiant sign of luck, joy, and unexpected happiness. It heralds a fortunate opportunity coming your way, something light, effortless, and serendipitous. This is a glimpse into your near future, where you will experience a sense of deep fulfillment and contentment with your life. The most beautiful part is that not a single negative card showed up in this reading. The energy flowing toward you is overwhelmingly positive. And so, if tears come now, let them fall naturally. Let your heart release all that it has held, and allow yourself to feel the full truth of this moment. Joy is returning.
Peace is arriving.
And above all, you are being gently guided back to yourself. As we look into the next phase unfolding, I sense that something within you is shifting deeply, perhaps as a result of the inner child healing you've just gone through. There's a powerful transition on the horizon, a turning point that feels both significant and inevitable. For those who didn't feel drawn to the inner work, it's perfectly okay to step away here. There's nothing wrong with that. But for you, I can feel it clearly. A major transformation is coming, one that will begin to reveal itself soon. In terms of timing, this shift may become increasingly apparent over the next 6 months. That's when you'll likely begin to see tangible changes in your life, clear signs that something fundamental is evolving. The energy around you will start to move in new directions. You may receive hints or messages about your path ahead, perhaps through synchronicities, unexpected conversations, or subtle signs in your environment. It could be a message that suddenly stands out to you, a phrase that lingers in your mind, or the presence of a person who stirs something deep within you. There might be someone you meet, perhaps through social media or a casual encounter, who triggers something meaningful, someone you're instantly drawn to. And in that moment, you may suddenly catch a glimpse of your own future, clearer than ever before. You may feel as though you're being shown what is possible, what you've longed for, and what is truly aligned with your soul. However, it's also possible that these insights could bring up uncomfortable feelings. You may experience jealousy, restlessness, or frustration, especially when you see someone else already living the kind of life or happiness you're striving for. These feelings don't mean you're negative or ungrateful. They mean you're human. Right now, you are emotionally open and sensitive, so external triggers may affect you more strongly than usual. But don't judge yourself for this. Even within the intensity of these emotions, whether they seem positive or painful, there are messages, clues, and guidance about the path ahead. You are being shown a vision of your future, not to torment you with what you don't yet have, but to awaken within you the deep truth of what can be yours. These powerful emotional waves you're feeling are not obstacles, they are signals, pointing you toward where your soul wants to go. A major transformation is approaching, and it will reshape your inner and outer world. Now is the time to begin preparing, not by forcing change, but by staying receptive, present, and grounded in your truth. Something important is making its way to you. All you need to do is keep your heart open and trust in the unfolding. In addition, this card carries the energy of challenge, adventure, and an exciting journey that lies ahead. I truly believe that in the near future, you'll encounter something deeply captivating, something that stirs your curiosity and invites you to explore. Within the next 2 months, a new world may open up to you, one that you'll feel an irresistible pull toward. It could be a promising encounter, a connection that awakens something inside you, or perhaps an invitation to participate in something unfamiliar but exhilarating. This card speaks of depth. It suggests you are entering a period of profound inner exploration. During these 2 months, you will be drawn to reflect more deeply on yourself. This is a time of self-discovery, a chapter of inner awakening and honest introspection. It's a phase where you'll be invited to look within, to meet yourself at a deeper level than before. You may begin to ask important questions about what you truly desire, what matters to you, and what has been quietly waiting for your attention beneath the surface. This card is also intimately connected with love, particularly relationships. For those who draw this card, there's a powerful emotional current surrounding you. You may feel an increase in romantic energy or sense a meaningful shift in your connection with someone. If you're searching for love, you're moving closer to attracting and building a relationship that resonates with your heart. The energy of love is drawing near, and for some, this may even be a step towards something more committed, such as engagement or marriage. However, before entering any new relationship or stepping into a deeper romantic commitment, there is an important stage of preparation, one that calls for inner clarity. You are being guided to understand yourself more fully, to explore your own emotional needs, desires, and fears. This self-exploration is not a delay, it is an essential step. It is the foundation that will allow you to love with presence, with honesty, and with a heart that is truly ready. So embrace this time. Dive into the mystery that is your own heart. Welcome the new adventures, the emotional insights, and the romantic possibilities that are on their way. You are preparing for something meaningful, and everything you are feeling now is a part of that sacred unfolding. So, in order to recognize that this is love, this is exactly what you've been searching for, or perhaps to receive a confession of love, to meet your life partner, and to witness a shift in your love life or relationships, you must first dive deep into yourself and gain a clearer understanding of who you truly are. Inner child work is closely tied to this process. It's like a journey called soul search, a search for the soul. By understanding your soul more deeply, you unlock important keys to your path. I strongly encourage you to watch the videos I've shared on innate abilities, talents, or life purpose, because they could serve as a meaningful starting point for your own inner exploration. I'm not trying to promote anything truly, but if you happen to feel drawn to them, I believe they might support you in discovering more about yourself. Of course, you don't have to watch my videos. There are plenty of tarot videos out there that can guide you on this journey. Try seeking out and watching those that resonate with you. And then, I see that within the next 3 to 4 months, something within your wish, something you've been hoping for, will begin to take shape. Perhaps 1 or 2 of your desires will come to fruition. It feels as if everything is starting to move, the gears are turning, and the momentum is building. I sense that along with these changes, your direction will also shift. You'll begin to walk down a new path, one that's different from the route you've taken before. So yes, the things you've longed for will manifest, but at the same time, this very process will lead you toward a new direction. A brand new road will unfold before you. So then what could this really mean? A shift in direction might indicate that you used to believe joy always came with a cost, that happiness would inevitably be followed by something negative or frightening, or that every moment of joy must be paid for with fear. If you've ever held that belief, now is the time you're choosing to step away from that old pattern. You are entering a new reality, one in which you choose love over fear, where you actively move forward in that choice. That, I feel, is the real meaning behind your change in direction. You're no longer just enduring, no longer simply dreaming or putting things off. The things you've been patiently waiting for, those hopes you've quietly held for the future, are beginning to materialize over the next 6 months. All the hardships you've endured, all the waiting you've tolerated, will soon be rewarded, and you will no longer need to bear them. This is the moment you break free from the self-imposed limits you once accepted. No more telling yourself someday. Now, it's about today. You are transitioning from wishing for a vague, distant future to embracing a tangible, present reality. The dreams you once delayed, the aspirations you put aside for the sake of others or for work, will finally be given space to come alive. You will begin to live for yourself. You are stepping into a new direction, one that aligns with your true desires. At last, you will seize the opportunities that are meant for you. Happiness and good fortune will arrive, because now, you are truly ready to receive them. So then, what does this really mean? A shift in direction may signify that you once believed happiness would always be followed by something negative or frightening. Perhaps you thought that whenever joy arrived, it would come at the cost of fear or anxiety. If that's how you used to think, then now you're choosing not to walk down that dark path anymore. You are stepping into a reality where you consciously choose love over fear. And you've already reached the point where this choice is being made. You are choosing love. Now I understand. This change in direction is not just about circumstances. It's about everything you've endured in the past, especially the patience you've had in waiting for something to unfold. Maybe you used to believe that if one day this thing finally happened, then you would be happy. You waited patiently for what you wanted, for the dreams you held close to your heart. But now, within the next 6 months, those very things you've been waiting for will start to manifest. The things you've long endured, the hopes you've clung to through all the delays and uncertainty, will begin to bear fruit, and you will no longer have to carry that burden. You will no longer be someone who lives in the energy of someday. Instead, you will shift into the present, becoming someone who truly lives in the now. The dreams you've put on hold, the ones that mattered most to you but were pushed aside for others, for duty, or for work, will begin to awaken. If you once lived for the expectations of others, now you will begin to live for yourself. You will change your course, focusing on what you truly desire. And in doing so, you will finally seize the opportunities, the fortune, and the happiness that are rightfully yours, because now, you are ready to receive them. When I was a child, I used to make flower crowns out of white clover. Back then, with my small hands and a heart full of innocence, I wove those little blossoms into delicate circles. And now, I want to offer you a white clover crown so that you may treat yourself like a princess or a prince, or simply as someone precious and worthy. You are the main character in your own story. You are the princess, the prince, or if those titles don't quite resonate with you, that's perfectly fine. What matters is this. I want to offer you a white clover crown as a token of gratitude for all that you have done for this planet and for the people around you. You have tried so hard, and you deserve this beautiful, pure crown. You deserve to receive it because of everything you've carried and everything you've given over time. Perhaps you've been someone who has given so much to others, and now, it's time for you to receive. This is a turning point. You will no longer be someone who only gives. You will also be someone who receives. What has been stagnant will begin to move again. The gears of your life will start to interlock and spin, setting things into motion. And that momentum will guide you toward what you truly desire. You will be able to reach your goals, to step into your most authentic self, and to fulfill the dreams you've long held close to your heart. That may be the message I wish to offer you. So please remember, as I've said before, don't be harsh with yourself. Offer yourself love. Don't choose fear, choose love. And this applies not only to how you treat yourself, but also how you see others. Sometimes, when we focus too much on the negative parts of people, that becomes all we can see. But even those parts, the ones we deem unpleasant, have their own reasons, their own stories, and their own value. Everyone is like this, including myself. You don't have to accept everything from others right away. But if you can treat others with gentleness and compassion, your heart will feel much more at ease. And in order to truly be kind to others, you must first be kind to yourself. When you offer love to yourself, you'll feel your heart begin to fill up. And from that fullness, you'll naturally stop criticizing or blaming others. You'll start treating them with softness and empathy. That is your true nature. That is the version of you that you will rediscover. So if lately you've been feeling irritable or quick to anger, know that it's completely normal. Everyone has moments like that. But what's important to realize is that these emotions don't come from a desperate need to be loved by others. Rather, they are signals that what you really need is love from within. Deep down, what you truly long for is to be cherished, held, and cared for by your own self. In truth, this world mirrors how you treat yourself. The way you speak to yourself, the way you care for yourself, the way you forgive or nurture yourself, all of it is reflected back through your experiences and the people around you. If you feel unloved or mistreated by others, it may be because you have not yet offered yourself the love you deserve. Perhaps in the past, you sacrificed too much of yourself for others, setting your own needs aside just to make someone else happy. But now is the time to stop. Now is the time to pour love into yourself, deeply and without hesitation. Remember this. Before anything else, you must love yourself. And so, I offer you this white clover crown as a symbol, a gentle reminder that you are worthy of that love.
Can you accept it?
A beautiful future is already waiting for you. The time for patience has ended. This is the message meant for you. Now is the time to simply be kind to yourself. That's all. That alone is enough. That's all I wish to share with you. Because when you do that, when you treat yourself with kindness and love, your energy will begin to overflow. You'll find yourself ready to take on new challenges, to explore new aspects of yourself, to meet new versions of who you are. And I believe that wonderful things await you in the days to come. Congratulations! I'll close the reading for those of you who chose pile 2 here. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to support my channel. Your encouragement is an incredible source of motivation that helps me continue bringing you even more meaningful and heartfelt readings. If any part of today's message touched your heart, please feel free to leave a comment, or even just a small symbol, so I know that it truly resonated with you. I genuinely treasure every piece of feedback and always look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of the video. I look forward to connecting with you again in the next reading. Hello to everyone who chose pile 3. Thank you for your patience. Now, let's begin the reading dedicated to those of you who are drawn to the 3rd pile. I hope that this reading brings you healing, fresh insights, and moments filled with love and warmth. Now, let's take a look at the most beautiful future that awaits you. The Empress card has appeared, a powerful sign of blessings coming your way. Right from the beginning, I want to tell you that this magnificent future will bring success. This card carries the energy of love, peace, and abundance, so I truly believe a warm, loving, and harmonious future is drawing near for you. First of all, I feel a very strong message is coming through. It's as if the entire world is about to shift. Your current reality may be on the brink of a profound transformation, one that is bold, sweeping, and unmistakably powerful. What I see for you is a future rich in depth and vibrancy. Although this shift may come with powerful, even overwhelming changes, what's unfolding is a complete renewal. You're going to feel this transformation deeply, and it may even feel as though everything in your world is being completely restructured. This is not a subtle or quiet change. It's one that stirs your entire reality, a complete turning of the page. But it's leading you towards something lush, abundant, and deeply fulfilling. First, let's take a look at your current situation. The reverse moon card, combined with a sword card, suggests that you may have recently gone through some kind of emotional shock. It could have been a breakup or a decision to part ways with someone. Or perhaps there was a situation that left you feeling deeply disappointed, even heartbroken. You might be experiencing a lack of motivation or finding it difficult to hold on to hope right now. Some of you may be in this emotional state, and I want to gently tell you that these feelings seem to stem from something that happened recently, something that occurred not long before you came across this reading. It doesn't feel like this pain has been with you for a long time, but rather that a recent event, something unexpected and unwanted, triggered these emotions and left you feeling vulnerable. However, I want you to know that in the past, you made a very clear and deliberate decision. The reverse 7 of Cups reveals that there was a moment when you chose a specific path, one that felt undeniably right at the time. You may have believed that it was the only correct option, the one that aligned with your intuition and inner truth. It was likely a decision you struggled with for a while, weighing your emotions and thoughts carefully before finally choosing the road you believed was meant for you. But now you might be questioning that choice. There may be a sense of uncertainty, perhaps you wonder if it was truly the best decision. Even so, because the moon appears in reverse, I sense that although the emotions were intense, you haven't been consumed by them. You've likely managed to stay grounded, holding on to a sense of clarity and optimism deep within. Despite everything, your inner light hasn't gone out. You're still standing, and that speaks volumes about your resilience. There is still hope. Perhaps your body feels tired or drained, but spiritually and mentally, you remain steady. It seems you may have recently gone through some challenges, yet you're doing your best not to let yourself become overwhelmed by them. I sense that deep within your soul, there is a quiet pull toward release, toward resolution, and you're beginning to feel a sense of emotional relief, however subtle. That said, the cards reveal the presence of some intense negative emotions that still linger. If the Moon card had appeared upright, I would say that you had experienced a significant emotional wound in the past, something deeply painful. And yet, even if that pain once existed, you've already begun to transform it. It feels as though you've taken something heavy and difficult and alchemized it into wisdom. You've found meaning in the struggle, and you recognize now that, even in life's darkest chapters, there are valuable lessons that help you grow, evolve, and step into a higher version of yourself. It's possible that you're now focusing on the positive side of things, or that you naturally possess a resilient spirit that sees the silver lining in any situation. You might be someone who, even in hardship, chooses to hold on to hope. Or perhaps, more simply, you've been feeling a bit low on energy lately and have been giving yourself permission to rest, to step back, to breathe. But even that, too, is a sign of healing, of knowing when to pause and allow yourself space to restore. Whatever the case, your current state reflects someone who, despite exhaustion or emotional fatigue, is still holding a steady light within. Whether you realize it or not, you are navigating this moment with quiet strength and wisdom. Perhaps that's how things truly are. Now, let's take a look at your surrounding environment, including the person you may be dating, or simply the energies and influences that are currently present around you. The Justice card has appeared, indicating that your environment is relatively stable, grounded, and balanced. Even if you've been experiencing emotional ups and downs, it seems that those around you have been maintaining a solid foundation, calm, composed, and open-hearted toward whatever changes or emotional waves you may be going through. I sense that the people in your environment are not overly affected by your emotional state, or it could be that you are not significantly influenced by theirs. In other words, there appears to be a certain emotional gap or difference in temperature between you and your surroundings. This isn't necessarily negative. It simply points to a distinction in emotional rhythm or intensity. It's also possible that someone in your environment, perhaps the person you're currently thinking of or a romantic interest, holds very positive feelings toward you. This person may have reached a place of clarity and resolve regarding the relationship. They may be ready to move forward, to define the connection with sincerity, and to commit to a more concrete path with you. Their thoughts seem to be serious and their intentions firm. They're likely seeking to clarify the nature of your bond and take it to the next level with a clear and thoughtful approach. However, I also sense that, from your side, you may not be fully aware of or convinced by these intentions. You might doubt whether the other person truly feels this way about you, or perhaps there is a clear disconnect between how each of you perceives and receives emotions. Because of this, I sense there is a certain emotional distance, either between you and this person, or between you and your environment as a whole. Let's take a deeper look into this. The trumpeting peer, or what we might interpret as the messenger card, has appeared in reverse. This card, typically associated with communication and announcements, showing up reversed suggests a blockage, delay, or lack of clarity in how feelings and thoughts are being expressed between you and the other person. It may be that someone is trying to send you a positive message or reach out in their own way, but for one reason or another, you're unable to fully perceive or receive that signal. This lack of clear communication could be widening the emotional gap or contributing to misunderstandings between the two of you. What I pick up from this reverse position is that, even though this person may appear composed, straightforward, or even emotionally open on the surface, there's still an inner hesitancy, a part of them that remains unsettled or undecided. The card speaks to the idea of breaking free from uncertainty, but it feels like that process is still in its early stages. They are, much like you, in a transitional space, between clarity and confusion, between certainty and emotional ambiguity. In essence, this person, whether a partner, someone you're interested in, or simply someone close to you, may be carrying hidden layers, thoughts, and emotions that they're not yet ready to reveal. While they may seem calm or resolved outwardly, there's a part of them that's still navigating inner uncertainty. And this, too, is contributing to the unspoken distance that currently exists between you. I sense that there is something hidden beneath the surface of your environment, perhaps within the person you're thinking about, that you haven't fully seen or understood yet. On the surface, they may express positive thoughts or appear composed and resolute, but within them lies a realm of unspoken emotions and unclear thoughts. The number 8 card has appeared twice in this reading, carrying with it an energy of inner strength and restructuring, further reinforcing the feeling that this person is going through internal struggles they haven't been able to fully articulate or reveal to you. Even if you feel that what they say or show outwardly doesn't match the situation or your emotional perception, it's highly likely that they themselves are dealing with burdens or complexities in their own environment. These could be pressures, responsibilities, or unresolved matters they haven't been able to break free from. Although they may present themselves as having made a clear decision, deep down they are still grappling with uncertainty, hesitation, or a lack of true conviction about that decision. This individual could be someone you're emotionally involved with, or someone closely tied to you on a personal level. Regardless of the exact nature of your connection, there is a clear discrepancy between the face they show you and what is actually going on inside them. Their true emotions and the image they present to you are not one and the same. There is a gap, a space where confusion, internal conflict, or vulnerability exists, though it may be carefully hidden from view. You may be witnessing what this person is showing on the outside, yet at the same time, you're also sensing something deeper hidden within them. Perhaps you're asking yourself, should I trust what they're saying? As mentioned earlier, there seems to be a difference in emotional temperature between you and this person. They appear calm, as if nothing is wrong, but in their eyes, in their gestures, you can feel that something is being concealed. They might be carrying emotional burdens they're not yet ready to share, and that very guardedness gives you the impression that they haven't truly opened their heart to you. I sense that it's not only this person who is in a state of inner imbalance. There's also something in the environment around you that feels unsettled, as though everyone is carrying unspoken worries or silent pressures. Even though the Justice card has shown up, a symbol of balance, fairness, and rationality, beneath that exterior lie hesitations, difficult decisions, or even situations in which this person feels cornered or pressured. There may be choices they feel forced to make, but deep inside, they're still wavering, not fully ready, and that internal conflict creates a sense of disorientation. Meanwhile, you seem to have moved past that state. Looking back, you may have already arrived at a clear decision, and now you're moving forward with intention and a renewed sense of direction. Whether in relationships, career, or life planning, you've chosen your path and you're actively walking it. You believed that both of you were heading toward the same destination, yet there's a subtle feeling that something isn't aligned, a vague sense that something isn't quite right, or that things aren't working together as smoothly as you'd hoped. It's like a machine whose gears are slightly off. They're still turning, still functioning, but something is catching, something is slowing things down. And then, in the forecast for the future and the final outcome, two powerful cards appear, the Tower and Eight of Cups. These are cards charged with intensity, clear indicators that something significant is going to happen. The Tower is always associated with unexpected, abrupt changes, events that can shake the very foundations of what once seemed stable. It could be a truth coming to light, an unforeseen circumstance, or an inevitable turning point. On the other hand, the Eight of Cups symbolizes a departure, a conscious decision to walk away in search of something deeper, more authentic, and more emotionally aligned with your inner truth. All signs point to one overwhelming feeling: something is about to happen. Whether it's an event, a revelation, a decision, or an emotional eruption, it will come and shift the current landscape entirely. And since this reading is speaking of the most wonderful future you are moving toward, the most vivid and undeniable message I receive is this: the confusion and emotional fog you've been living with are about to clear. When this major shift occurs, you will feel a deep sense of relief, your mind illuminated, your vision no longer clouded, as though a dense mist has finally lifted. This is especially true in areas of communication. If there's been distance between you and someone close, if there's been something they haven't fully shared, or a layer of themselves they've withheld, you've likely sensed it. You may have picked up on the fact that someone has been guarding a part of their heart, or hasn't truly opened up to you. And now the energy is indicating that those veils are coming down. What was once unspoken will come to light. What was once murky will be understood. This turning point, though potentially disruptive, is ultimately the beginning of clarity, alignment, and emotional liberation. And then, the card True Love appears, a symbol of genuine, soul-deep love. I believe many people drawn to this reading are carrying questions about romantic love, but even if your query isn't about a romantic relationship, this message still speaks to something deeply personal, a connection, a passion, or a pursuit into which you've poured your heart. Whether it's a person, a career, a vision for your life, this is the moment where you're being asked to face a crucial question. Is this truly what I desire? Am I living in alignment with my authentic self? The current situation is calling you into a space of radical honesty. No more avoidance. No more disguising your truth. This is the time to look within and ask yourself, is what I have right now truly love? Is this the right path for me? Is this something I wholeheartedly want to continue pursuing? The universe is gently but firmly urging you to turn inward, to reflect deeply, and to ask, is this truly meaningful to me? Is this really my destiny? I don't believe that what you are facing now is not destined. On the contrary, every meeting, every experience you're going through has arrived in your life at exactly the right time. Each carries the unique imprint of destiny. But what's being questioned here is whether this is something that still resonates with your soul at this stage of your journey. Is it aligned with the truth of your heart? Is it still essential to your growth and fulfillment? And these questions cannot be answered by anyone else. They must come from within you. This reading shows that you are being guided toward those answers, not through external validation, but through deep self-reflection. And in doing so, you are preparing to enter a completely new chapter in your life, one no longer clouded by doubt or wrapped in illusion. Instead, what awaits you is clarity, honesty, and a love that is real, conscious, and aligned with your highest truth. Exactly. This reading is guiding you toward a place of profound clarity. You are on the verge of realizing what truly aligns with your soul. Is the work you're doing right now genuinely the path you want to walk? Is the person you're thinking about, the one you're with, truly the right match for you? The strongest message I'm receiving here is that you are approaching a pivotal crossroads, a moment when you must confront the biggest question of all. What is truly meant for you? What is the most authentic truth in your world? The card "This is the one" echoes like a cosmic question being asked of you. Is this the one and only? Is this the thing or the person you absolutely cannot compromise? You may feel certain this is it. It must be this. It can only be this person, this path. But now, you are being challenged to determine, is that truly what your heart knows to be true? Are you genuinely living in harmony with what you claim to desire? Whether it's the person you love, the environment you're in, the job you're doing, or the dream you're chasing, all of it is being illuminated under an honest light. Does it truly resonate with you? Are you living in alignment with your authentic self? The time has come to face those truths head-on. This is the moment when you must distinguish between what is simply good and what is genuinely right for you. As we delve further into the forecast for the future, two cards emerge in reverse positions, Page of Wands and the Hanged Man. And that's truly fascinating. The reversed Page of Wands suggests that you may soon find yourself pushing back, beginning to rebel against the roles, expectations, or narratives that others have placed upon you. You might start to resist, to express your emotions more fiercely, to break away from a structure or identity that has confined you for too long. You're no longer willing to quietly comply, no longer willing to uphold the image of being agreeable, ideal, or obedient. And that is something incredibly powerful. This shift marks the beginning of your liberation, the reclaiming of your voice, your truth, and your freedom. It signals a turning point where you begin to choose authenticity over perfection, alignment over approval. You are no longer afraid to disappoint others if it means finally being true to yourself. The Hanged Man appears in reverse, and this is an immensely significant sign. You are on the path to liberation. You are no longer willing to silently sacrifice yourself. You are no longer accepting the idea that you must suppress your emotions or live according to others' expectations. This card is saying, you are about to be freed. You are breaking away from the mindset that says you must do things a certain way to be right, or live a certain way to be loved. You will no longer feel the need to constantly please others, nor will you find yourself watching someone's expression to determine whether or not you're allowed to be yourself. Freedom is calling your name, and it is not just freedom in action, but a deeper freedom of the soul. A freedom where you can fully live as yourself, without constraints, without masks, and without betraying your own truth. The universe is opening a door for you, a door that leads not to endurance, but to choice. No longer must you carry the burden of living by someone else's design. You are being called into a life that is true, a life that aligns with you, is built for you, and belongs only to you. There is a very distinct feeling that you are starting to let go. You are releasing the things that once held you in emotional knots, worries, wounds, regrets. It's as if a current of powerful energy is surging through you, a fierce resolve awakening within you, like shedding an old skin that no longer fits. A shell that once served its purpose, perhaps for protection or survival, but now only restricts. It no longer belongs to the person you are becoming. And precisely in this present moment, this time when you're questioning what's real and what's right for you, it's likely that all the things no longer in resonance with your soul are beginning to reveal themselves. The people, roles, or choices that are no longer part of your essence. The things you've held onto out of habit, fear of loss, or pressure to conform, these are now becoming clearer than ever. And with that clarity comes your power. The power to release, to realign, and to reclaim the life that was always meant to be yours. The message here is clear. Let them go. Release yourself from the environments that no longer belong to you. End the cycle of holding on to what forces you to pretend. When you let go of what no longer reflects your true nature, you will be set free. You will reclaim your freedom. I sense that you are arriving at a moment where you will truly walk away from something, perhaps a relationship, a role you've been playing, an expectation placed upon you, or even an image of yourself that you've held onto for a long time. And from that release, you will step into a new chapter where your soul is unbound, where you are no longer tethered to what once defined you. Continuing through the reading, the card 4 of Coins emerges with a very direct piece of guidance. Let go of attachment. This is a core message, a central key that leads you toward the magnificent future ahead. The universe is gently but firmly telling you, it is time to stop clinging. You do not have to hold on to something just because you believe you can't live without it, or because you think that only this person, this situation, can bring you happiness. You are not meant to remain in place out of fear that losing it will break you. These thoughts of grasping, of clinging tightly to something out of desperation or belief in its irreplaceability, are exactly what you're being asked to release now. Your beautiful future will not arrive through the act of holding on. It will come through the courage to let go. Not everything needs to be gripped tightly. Not everything that matters must be kept in order to be cherished. Love doesn't always mean holding on. And happiness sometimes arrives in the very moment you decide to stop clenching your fists, to stop trying to make it work at any cost. True peace comes not from striving, not from pleading, not from exhausting yourself to hold something together. It comes from the stillness that follows surrender, just letting go. And when you release, you create space for what is truly meant for you to finally step in. What belongs to you will not require you to suffer to keep it.
It will stay.
It will return. Or it will arrive, anew. The times you pushed yourself to the edge, exhausted every ounce of energy just to be loved, those efforts, of course, came from a place of deep sincerity. The longing to be loved, to be accepted, is profoundly human. Striving to preserve a relationship, to make someone else happy. All of that came from your heart, from your capacity to care. But this reading is whispering something profoundly important. In the process of giving so much, have you been losing yourself? The feeling is unmistakable. You are approaching a moment of personal breakthrough. It's as if you're about to emerge from a cocoon you've woven around yourself over time. If you've lived as the good person, always sacrificing for others, always prioritizing their needs above your own, constantly keeping the peace, bringing smiles to those around you, then perhaps somewhere along the way, you forgot that you are human too. That you, too, deserve to be loved effortlessly, without condition, without bargaining, without having to earn it through self-erasure. And now, there's a surge of energy rising from within you. I feel it like a wave, a fire not of destruction, but of awakening. A righteous anger, not rooted in bitterness, but in reclamation. This is the anger that comes with clarity. A voice rising from your core that says, enough. You cannot continue to live this way. It's as if you are shattering invisible chains, stepping out of a life that asked you to be smaller, quieter, more pleasing than your truth allows. And in this inner uprising, you are roaring. I will live as who I truly am. I will choose what is true for my heart. I will no longer be afraid. This is not just a moment of realization. It is a revolution of the soul, a return to self, a reclamation of your worth, not as something to be proven or earned, but as something that simply is. And from this place, you will move forward, not in survival mode, but in sovereignty. Not to be accepted by others, but to accept yourself completely. This is the moment when something inside you erupts, and at the same time, you realize with unwavering certainty, this is what I want to cherish. This is what I truly need. That clarity is so powerful, so rooted, that nothing can shake you anymore. It's no longer about what should I do to be loved, but rather, I love this because it reflects who I am. And remember, the very first card to appear was the Empress, the embodiment of abundance, love, nurturing energy, and fertility. This is an incredibly potent sign that you are entering a phase in which your deepest, most authentic values are ready to bloom. You will begin to feel loved not because of how much effort you give, but simply because you are being your true self. You'll find yourself surrounded by gentle, soothing, emotionally rich energy, an atmosphere where your heart can finally breathe. And if you have been longing for a child, a little angel to enter your life, this reading also opens a door of hope. The symbol of birth here is not only biological, it also speaks to an inner rebirth, a new you being born. A self that is embraced fully, lovingly and unconditionally, by the universe and by your own heart. That's why you are moving toward a state of profound wholeness, a space where everything in your life begins to blossom and bear fruit, and your soul is richly nourished. And what makes that wholeness possible is nothing other than your deep alignment with your most authentic self. It may not be a perfect match in every single detail, but you will find yourself surrounded by people, experiences, and choices that you can say with unwavering conviction, "This is the one. This is what I need." And in order to truly live in that future, you must make a firm decision to let go of everything that no longer belongs to you. The feeling here is crystal clear. You can no longer tolerate, suppress, or endure what doesn't resonate. It's like an explosion from within, not one expressed in words, but in decisive action. A total release of all that is false, constraining, or outdated. You will no longer be able to sit still. Something will rise up within you, an undeniable push that demands movement, transformation, and liberation. It's time. The shift is already happening. The real you is stepping forward, ready to live in truth, love, and light. And so we continue with the reading, delving deeper into what is about to unfold, the underlying causes, motivations, and specific signs. Once again, the message of release resurfaces. The call to let go of stubborn attachments, to release the things you've been clinging to out of fear of loss, not out of true resonance. The next symbols that appear are the garden, a space of community, connection, and openness to the world. The whips, a sign of repeated conflict, inner struggle, and emotional tension. The dice, the energy of chance, risk, and a bold roll toward transformation. And the scythe, the sharp blade of decisive action, cutting through illusion and bringing swift endings. Together, these symbols form a singular message. A bold, decisive act is approaching. You will soon make a clear, final choice to sever something, and that very act will become the turning point that propels you onto an entirely new path. The reading also emphasizes that this is not just a journey toward love with another person, but more profoundly, it is a journey toward true love with yourself. Yes, the true love in this reading is the sacred relationship between you and your own soul. Because only when you truly love, honor, and live in authenticity with yourself, can love from others arrive in a way that is natural, healthy, and aligned. If you have previously sacrificed yourself for the sake of others, lived to meet the expectations of those around you, tried to be everything for everyone, then now, you're being led toward a deeper truth. You no longer need to do what no longer aligns with your heart. You have the right to say no to what creates inner conflict. You have the right to pause, step back, and choose the path that brings wholeness and peace to your being. The most beautiful future is waiting for you, not because you bent yourself into shape to be loved, but because you chose to live in truth. And when you do that, not only will you be loved, you will be loved in the way your soul has always deserved, fully, freely, and in alignment with who you truly are. And finally, you arrive at the realization, you found it. This is what you truly need. The reading is showing you that you will pour your full energy, your deepest emotions, and your most sincere, unguarded love into this one thing, this one place, where your heart feels a true sense of resonance. And when you do, it won't be because you feel obligated or afraid of losing it. It will be because this is a choice that comes from the very core of your being. A pure, soul-led devotion. The period ahead may span approximately 1 to 3 months, and I feel a distinct sense that for those who are drawn to pile 3, the number 3, specifically the 3rd month from now, marks a particularly important phase. It could be a time when everything begins to unfold with greater clarity and momentum. In the very first month, you may encounter something entirely new, perhaps a new person, a new opportunity, or a situation that pushes you to finally release something you've been clinging to. A process of emotional and energetic purification will begin. And within that process, you may feel irritation rising, or notice the surfacing of anger that has been quietly building, especially towards someone or something you've tolerated for far too long. You may not have fully realized it, but there's a strong possibility that you've been carrying suppressed anger, buried deep beneath layers of self-restraint, patience, or people-pleasing. And once you become conscious of it, the healing begins. You will take action to release it. It might be the moment you finally speak the words you've held back for so long. The moment you allow yourself to confront what you feared. The moment you choose to express yourself fully, without apology or hesitation. And that will be a moment of profound transformation, not just because of what you say or do, but because you will finally reclaim your voice, your truth, and your emotional sovereignty. That is when the path you've been waiting for will begin to open, fully and clearly, because now it will be a path truly chosen by you for you. The Ace of Swords appears as a strikingly clear symbol. This is the moment when clarity, decisiveness, and razor-sharp direction emerge within you. A new current of energy, bold, focused, and breakthrough-oriented, is forming inside you. It is rooted in a solid inner axis, accompanied by a growing certainty. I know what I want, and I will move toward it. And of course, as you begin to live in full honesty with yourself, the people and situations that no longer align with your truth will begin to fall away. There will be moments that make you pause and ask, is this still right for me? And very likely, something inside you will want to speak, words you've held back for a long time. Emotions like irritation, unease, or disconnection may rise to the surface, not because you're unstable, but because your energy is no longer matching that of certain people or dynamics you've been entangled with. But that isn't something to fear. Quite the opposite. It's a sign that you're finally understanding yourself more deeply than ever before. You are starting to choose you. And many of you receiving this reading have likely spent the past 6 months, or even the past year, earnestly contemplating what truly aligns with you. You've been preparing for this shift, not for anyone else's sake, not because of expectations, but because you've come to understand yourself. And from that place of self-awareness, you are making choices that truly reflect who you are. This marks a deeply significant turning point. A shift from the version of you who once felt uncertain, who tried to fit in or please others, to a new version of you, more grounded, more self-defined, more discerning. You are becoming someone who knows what is worthy of your love, your time, and your energy. This sword in your hand is not a weapon of conflict. It is a symbol of your clarity, your inner truth, and your ability to cut through illusion. It is the beginning of a chapter where your voice is strong, your boundaries are clear, and your heart is finally moving in the direction it was always meant to follow. And then, more and more encounters will begin to unfold. However, even though the number of people you meet may increase, there is a distinct sense here. Among them, there will be one who feels truly significant. Not in a dramatic, fate-struck way that sweeps you off your feet at first glance, but in a more refined, discerning sense. You will meet many people in the upcoming phase, and it is through this process of interaction that you will gradually come to recognize who is truly aligned with me. This is not just a romantic experience. It extends to your professional life, collaborative relationships, and anyone who may potentially walk alongside you in your journey. The reading reveals that this is a crucial time for you to learn the art of discernment, to clearly distinguish between shallow connections and those that genuinely resonate with the truth of your heart. In the next month or so, you may find yourself encountering a variety of individuals. But many of these meetings are not about forming lasting bonds right away. Rather, they serve as mirrors, opportunities for you to define, through contrast and clarity, what kind of energy, presence, and values truly feel right for you. It's a time of observation, of listening, of tuning into your inner compass. If you are currently in a relationship, this may also be a period where moments of emotional misalignment arise. There may be misunderstandings, phases where you and your partner are not on the same wavelength. But this, too, is not inherently negative. In fact, it is fertile ground for growth. Because it is precisely in those moments of discord that you come to see how the other person reacts, how you respond, and whether the two of you are capable of growing through difficulty rather than collapsing under it. You will witness a deeper layer of yourself and of the other person. And that understanding may bring you closer, or gently clarify that your paths are no longer in sync. Either way, it will offer wisdom, honesty, and an invaluable reflection of who you are becoming, and who is truly meant to walk beside you on the path ahead. In this month, your emotions may fluctuate quite a bit, shaped by movement, stirred by new experiences, and influenced by things you've never encountered before. You might meet someone and feel an immediate sense of disconnect, as if something isn't quite resonating with your inner frequency. But don't rush to judge. It's entirely possible that the person you initially think doesn't match your energy could be the very one who lingers in your thoughts by the second month. You may suddenly come to realize, perhaps this person actually holds something I've been searching for all along. So give yourself time. Allow every connection the space to grow naturally. Because it is within that natural unfolding that what's truly meant for you will slowly come into view, without pressure, without force, just with your willingness to genuinely listen to yourself. Right now might be a time when you need to observe those around you with a keener, more discerning eye. Not to judge, but to protect yourself, to maintain your inner balance. This is a phase where your core values should be front and center, where honoring yourself needs to be your top priority. It may sound repetitive when said aloud, but that only underscores its importance. Stay true to yourself and choose only what genuinely aligns with who you are. Then, a powerful turning point seems to emerge, precisely 2 months from now. I sense that in the second month, something deeply significant will take place, a meeting, an event, or a chance that feels almost destined. The dice card appears, evoking the sense of everything being shaken up, like when you roll the dice and await an unexpected number. And right after that, the image of a box comes into view, reminding me of a surprise gift from the universe, something wrapped in mystery, waiting to be revealed when the time is right. This message is further emphasized by the phrase, the gift of life. Every day is a gift. And that gift may not necessarily be something material. It could be a feeling, an opportunity, or an unexpected moment of deep resonance. You will sense it clearly, through your intuition, through strangely aligned coincidences, through signs you may not be able to logically explain, but that you will undeniably recognize as part of your destiny. During the second month, you may feel as though you are truly blessed. Gratitude will fill your heart each day, and a sense of contentment will settle deeply within you. This will be a time when the current of your life begins to shift direction, ushering in a completely new phase, as if a higher level of your life journey is unfolding before you. And all of this comes to you as a reward, because you have bravely walked through the phase of discernment, faced yourself honestly, and had the courage to say no to what no longer aligns with your truth. The gift you receive could be a relationship that is not only with the right person, but also at the right time. Or it might be a professional opportunity, an open door you never imagined would appear. Whatever form it takes, it will arrive with a profound sense of confirmation. You deserve this goodness. You no longer have to strive to become worthy of it, because you were already worthy the moment you chose to live in alignment with your true self. And so, the next 2 months, especially following the selective clarity of the first, will mark your entry into a new vibrational frequency, a new dimension of being. Within this space, gifts from the universe await you. Gifts named wholeness, opportunity, love, and most importantly, you, a version of yourself more radiant than ever before. You are entering a phase in which each day will be lived with a deep and profound sense of fulfillment and wholeness, and the reason behind that, I believe, is because you've begun the process of purification. You've started to release what no longer aligns with your true self. It is precisely this courage, this inner clarity, that has cleared the path for purer, more meaningful things to flow into your life. And then, as you move into the third month, a greater decision, a clear milestone will appear. It may be something you've long contemplated, or it may be a choice you are now being called to make. This marks a distinct shift. You will no longer be in a state of passive observation or quiet discernment. This time, you will act. You will begin to move forward, to consciously choose, to truly transform. The Lady card also appears, symbolizing you in this reading. This card reflects a state of self-nourishment, of honoring your inner worth, of loving yourself more fully and consciously than ever before. It brings us back to the core message, to only keep what truly resonates with the person you've become. The next 3 months can be described in a simple yet deeply meaningful way. This is a time for you to re-examine the decisions you've made in the past. No matter what path you once chose, now is the moment to ask yourself honestly, does that choice still reflect who I am today? If there's anything that no longer feels true to you, this is your moment to recalibrate, to redirect. This is not a rejection of the past, but a sign of your growth, of someone who has learned to listen to their inner voice more intimately. Gradually, you'll begin to see what is truly worth dedicating your full energy to, that one thing that stands out above all else. What might be called this is the one. And that one thing may not refer only to love or work. It could be anything that you feel called to wholeheartedly invest yourself in. If it's your career, it could be a project or a path that deeply aligns with your purpose. If it's your personal life, it might be a person, a relationship, or a way of living that you wish to commit to with your whole being. Once you have identified that core truth, you'll be able to release everything else with a light heart and without regret. The reading reveals that once you make that inner shift, the universe will deliver a significant transformation, a clear and undeniable turning point in your life. Everything will change: your emotions, your external circumstances, and even the overall direction of your journey. And then another card appears, the Three of Wands. This card is a symbol of expanding horizons, of new ventures, of opportunities that lie ahead. It marks the moment when someone stands on the threshold of a great adventure, ready for what is coming, with a clear heart, unburdened spiritual luggage, and a deep, unwavering faith in the path ahead. You are about to step into a brand new chapter, one where confusion and indecision fall away, and you see with crystal clarity, this is what I want, and I am worthy of it. Yes, this is the phase where you begin to expand your world, taking on new challenges, entering unfamiliar territories, both spiritually and in tangible, real-life ways. And what I feel strongly here is the presence of companionship. This card doesn't speak only of growth. It also emphasizes teamwork, collaboration, and walking side by side with someone else. You are no longer alone. This sense of togetherness doesn't just apply to love. It spans every area of life. You're entering a time when your heart will truly be stirred, awakened by something or someone. It could be a person, a job, a creative endeavor, but what matters most is that it ignites something deep inside you. It resonates. It pulls you in. And when we look deeper into the future, toward the final outcome, the message becomes even clearer. You'll make a decisive choice to release what you now know no longer belongs in your life. That release may be emotional, even turbulent. You might feel a wave of anger or disappointment, and that's entirely natural. In fact, that anger is meaningful. It acts as a light, shining on what truly matters, revealing what it is you genuinely need to protect, honor, and hold dear. Once you release what no longer belongs to you, the doorway to genuine connections will begin to open. You may meet someone truly special, a companion, a partner, a soulmate, someone who makes everything feel easier, more natural, more aligned. The cards reveal the image of two people clearly connected, resonating on the same wavelength. This could unfold in your professional life, through a partnership rooted in trust and shared vision, or in your personal life, through a relationship that holds the potential for deep, lasting growth. This kind of bond doesn't bring weight or burden, it brings relief. It offers the liberating feeling of no longer having to carry everything alone. If you've grown used to doing it all by yourself, to being the one who always holds things together, now is the time to learn how to receive support. And that act of receiving won't diminish your strength. It will deepen your sense of being loved and renew your energy in ways you didn't expect. Naturally, with the energy reflected in the cards, the possibility of a budding romantic relationship cannot be ruled out. You may find yourself stepping into a new love, a connection that's both gentle and profound, arriving at the perfect moment, with the right person. This will be a relationship built on mutual effort, shared growth, and emotional reciprocity. A connection where both people uplift each other, not out of duty, but out of genuine care and resonance. It may be with someone who understands you effortlessly, someone with whom you don't need to explain every detail or try to be your most polished self. In their presence, you can simply be, authentically, vulnerably, and fully. And whether this connection manifests as romantic love, creative collaboration, or a soul-level friendship, it will mark the beginning of a new chapter for you. A chapter defined by togetherness, by shared purpose, and by a deep trust in the beauty of what is unfolding. Because you have started to return to yourself, because you've begun letting go of what is no longer necessary and chosen to live honestly in alignment with your true emotions, the right things, the most beautiful and fitting things, can now begin to appear in your life. These blessings are not arriving by chance. They come because you are finally ready to receive them. The Child card appears, and interestingly, once again, the image of two people emerges. It seems that many cards in this reading carry the symbol of duality: two individuals, two souls, two beings walking side by side. And this is no coincidence. Just like the previous card that spoke of teamwork, the message here is clear. You'll have a companion, someone who'll grow with you, evolve with you, and face life's challenges hand in hand. This is not a fleeting connection. It's a relationship built on mutual growth, the expansion of shared horizons, and a step-by-step unfolding of something deeply meaningful. There is a strong possibility that you are being guided to move away from someone you once walked beside, a past partner, a former collaborator, an old relationship, in order to meet someone entirely new, someone who aligns with the version of you that is emerging now. You may find yourself saying goodbye to someone currently present in your emotional life and opening your heart to someone else, someone with whom you can genuinely build something lasting and soulful. There is a distinct sense that what you've always longed for, what you've quietly wished for in the depths of your heart, is finally approaching. And it is not merely a fleeting encounter. It is a bond with the future, a connection that won't stop at emotional resonance, but will unfold into transformation, renewal, and elevation. This is the beginning of a path that leads not only to shared emotion, but to mutual growth and a richer, fuller life ahead. This is not the end. This is the beginning of an entirely new cycle. Partnership, whether in love, in work, or in shared life purpose, will lead you to places you could never reach on your own. The reading speaks of a major turning point. You will no longer walk this path alone. You are about to embark on a new journey, one where a true companion awaits, where new and meaningful challenges lie ahead, and where you will begin again from zero, with a liberated heart and a soul fully ready. What you're stepping into is not a continuation of the past, but the birth of a completely new chapter, one infused with inspiration, vitality, and hope. Right now, there may be many who feel lost or unclear, who carry a quiet unrest in their hearts, a subtle sense that something isn't right, and yet continue trying to convince themselves that everything is still okay, that they can keep going as they are. You might be walking a path that no longer feels true, but remain out of habit, fear, or a sense of obligation. But this reading is delivering a clear message. The moment you find the courage to let go, the right person, the most aligned companion for your current self, will appear. This isn't only about a life partner. It could also be a collaborator, a kindred spirit, or a brand new direction that resonates with who you've become. That is what awaits you on the other side of release. The Chance card has appeared, carrying a powerful message. Don't miss this opportunity. This is a pivotal moment, the point at which you can shift course and step into a completely different dimension of your life. You are standing before a door, and all it takes for that door to open is your willingness to let go. Let go of attachment, let go of what no longer fits, and the path ahead will reveal itself, clear, vibrant, and utterly transformative. This is an invitation for you to make a decision to love yourself. This is not selfishness. It is a brave and necessary act to place yourself back at the center of your life. Only when you dare to prioritize yourself can you truly step into a future where the most beautiful, aligned things are waiting for you. Immediately following this comes a vital message from the reading. Trust your intuition. Always right. Yet how often have you ignored that quiet voice within? How many times have you heard the whisper of your intuition, only to dismiss it as nonsense, as imagination, as irrational? Perhaps you've silenced yourself with thoughts like, am I overthinking this? Or maybe I'm just being too sensitive. But intuition is what you feel before the mind begins to analyze. It is a fast, subtle, but deeply real vibration, a sense that something is off, or a sudden knowing that you're meant to go in a certain direction. And now, the universe is urging you. Listen to it. Trust that first impression. Dare to follow the path your heart is pointing toward. So, what do you need in order to trust your intuition? The next card offers a profoundly simple yet powerful answer: blessings and simplicity. Return to the basics: stillness, listening, authenticity. That is where your intuition speaks the clearest. You don't need to complicate anything. Just pause,
Breathe.
and ask yourself gently, am I truly okay? In that quiet, in that moment of honest self-inquiry, your truth will rise to the surface, calm, clear, and quietly powerful. And from that place, the path ahead will unfold with grace. Let your intuition lead the way. Because ahead of you, when you truly begin to trust yourself, is a future where the most aligned path, the most fulfilling gift, and the most extraordinary companion are all waiting for you to arrive. It's clear that right now, many are carrying within them a buildup of repressed emotions, as if a quiet, lingering anger or an unresolved tension is sitting just beneath the surface. It may feel like you're dragging around a heaviness, a persistent frustration, disappointment, or restlessness that is yet to find an outlet. It's the kind of emotional weight that makes you want to scream, "What is even going on anymore?" These sensations, irritability, inner discomfort, that tightness in your chest, have been accumulating day by day. And the very first guidance you're being offered is this: breathe. Truly, breathe deeply, mindfully, and with full awareness. So right now, let's take a breath together. Inhale slowly, fully, and then gently exhale. As you do, imagine that with every breath out, you are releasing all that heaviness inside you. All that tension, fatigue, anxiety. Let it dissolve with your breath. Repeat it 3 times. Inhale and exhale deeply. As you do this, you may begin to realize something. Perhaps you haven't really been breathing. Perhaps life has been moving so fast, so relentlessly, that you've forgotten how to simply breathe, a basic act, yet one that speaks volumes about how disconnected you've become from your own body. You may have been working nonstop, constantly striving, always thinking about others, and somewhere along the way, you lost touch with yourself. You stopped listening to your breath, your heartbeat, and the life force flowing through your body. You've been surviving, not truly living. And now, your soul is asking you to return, to slow down, to breathe, and to remember that your body, your being, and your breath are sacred. So, take a moment to gently place your hand over your chest, your abdomen, or any part of your body that calls for attention, as a quiet reminder to yourself: I am here. I am alive. I am breathing. And throughout the day, during a lunch break, between tasks, right after waking up, or just before sleep, pause for a moment. Simply return to your breath. You don't need complicated meditation or advanced techniques, just conscious, intentional breathing. Because when you reconnect with your breath, you also return to the energetic center within you, your chakra system. In this reading, the chakras have been symbolically highlighted as areas in need of realignment. It's possible that some of your energy centers are currently weakened or out of balance, leading to emotional disconnection, heightened stress, depleted energy, or a lack of clear direction. The breath is the most accessible and potent healing tool you have. Every deep breath, when you are truly connected, gently restores harmony to your chakras. Bit by bit, you will begin to feel lighter in your body, clearer in your mind, and most importantly, reconnected with yourself on a deep and authentic level. Life will continue to unfold, vibrant, unpredictable, and full of motion.
Breathe.
Receive. And keep gently returning to yourself. The message being emphasized here is simple, yet profound. Realign everything through your breath. If your mind is currently overwhelmed with looping thoughts, tangled emotions, or unanswered questions, then it becomes all too easy to lose touch with your intuition. When your inner space is filled with mental noise, even if your intuition is trying to send you signals, you won't be able to hear them clearly, or you'll overlook them entirely as your mind gets swept away by other streams of thought. That's why you're being gently guided to cleanse your inner space so that your intuition can reach you with clarity. When you become still, when you find quiet within, you begin to feel intuitive messages more vividly, and you're also able to follow them naturally, without hesitation or doubt. The reading reveals that many of you are now standing at the threshold of a major transition. You may have just completed a long chapter in your personal journey, a period rich in soul lessons, spiritual growth, or karmic learning. It could have been years filled with emotional trials in love, family, work, or relationships that deeply wounded you, brought tears, and left marks on your heart. But equally, those very experiences have taught you profound truths. And now, you are being prepared to rise into a higher frequency. What needed to be learned has been learned. What needed to be released has come to its time. Some may call this the resolution of karma, and you have done it. You have faced what needed to be faced. You have endured. You have transcended. At this point, the real question is no longer whether you are still bound by karma. What matters now is, how will you choose to look back on all that has passed? Will you carry it as weight, or will you honor it as wisdom? Will you let it define you, or allow it to transform you? The past has brought you here, but what happens next is entirely up to the version of you that is now awakening. If in the past you carried a sense of guilt, a burden of needing to make amends or pay some kind of price, know that this way of thinking belongs to the age of Earth, a time when humanity lived under the weight of rigid moral frameworks, heavy responsibilities, and cycles of endurance and suffering. But since November 20th of last year, the age of air has begun, clearly and powerfully. In this new era, we are no longer asked to carry the old burdens. Instead, we are being invited to move lightly, to be free, to understand with clarity and compassion that our souls have never committed sins, they are simply learning. We, as souls in human form, came into this life not to suffer for our past, but to experience, to explore, to grow, and to learn the great lessons of love, attachment, release, and transformation. What you once referred to as karma is, in truth, the learning arc your soul consciously chose before it arrived here. Perhaps you chose the role of the one who sacrifices, the one who loves without being loved in return, the one who is betrayed, or the one who is constantly overlooked. But these roles were never punishments. They were invitations to understand yourself more deeply, to come back home to the essence of who you truly are, to return to your light. Now, you stand at the threshold of a new journey, one no longer tethered to the past, no longer tied to invisible promises or internal torment. You are free to take a deep breath, to soften your heart, and to walk forward with grace, with a heart that is clear, a mind that is open, and a spirit that is ready to welcome all the beauty that lies ahead. If the connection between you and someone else was created for mutual soul learning, then the very essence of that relationship is this: your soul desired to experience both roles, role A and role B. Your soul longed to walk through both sides of the story, to be the one who gives and the one who receives, the one who is wounded and the one who causes the wound. These are all experiential lessons meant for soul growth, not for punishment or repayment. Therefore, karma is not the terrifying concept we were once taught to believe. You did not come into this lifetime to be punished, you came to learn through experience. Your soul chose the circumstances, the dynamics, and the roles you are playing in this incarnation. In this life, you may be the lover who is left behind. In the next, you may be the one who lets go first. These are roles, sacred roles, that were chosen to help you understand, more deeply and compassionately, the true nature of love, forgiveness, and spiritual maturity. So you no longer need to carry the burden of trying to atone for what has already happened. You don't need to keep punishing yourself or feeling obligated to make up for the past. Everything you have gone through, everything you have bravely faced, especially up until November 20th of last year, has been enough. More than enough. If you have met your lessons with sincerity, if you have truly allowed yourself to feel, to reflect, and to transform through what life has brought to you, then this is your moment of liberation. This is your time to release the weight, to step out from the cycle of guilt and into the light of understanding. You have earned the right to move forward, not as someone seeking redemption, but as someone who has learned, grown, and is now ready to live freely. If, even now, you still carry within you the feeling that you must repay something, that you need to atone, that your karmic debts are not yet cleared, know that this is no longer the truth. What remains is not your karma, but your attachment to the shadow of the past. When you continue to cling to it with a mindset of bondage and obligation, you unintentionally create new karmic threads, not only for yourself, but for others involved. That is why, if you recognize that a karmic cycle has come to its end, the most powerful thing you can do is to thank it and let it go. And if letting go still feels difficult, if it's a relationship, a person, or a connection that still stirs your heart, the gentlest, most liberating way to part is to sincerely wish them happiness. In your heart, say to them, I wish for you to live in peace, to be loved in the way that is best for you. If what you are releasing is a particular environment, such as a job, a home, or a social setting, then offer your gratitude to the people who were part of that space. Thank them for the lessons, for the challenges, for the opportunity to grow. Say quietly within yourself, thank you for allowing me to learn, to be tested, and to become who I am today. I wish you all happiness and ease in your paths ahead. This is not only an act of closure. It is an act of liberation. You are not escaping, you are completing. You are not turning your back. You are turning toward your next horizon. And with every breath of gratitude and blessing you offer, you untie the knots gently, gracefully, making space for something more aligned, more loving, and more free to enter your life. Instead of blaming, instead of merely sighing or complaining, offer gratitude for all that has passed, for it is precisely through this that a new doorway will open for you. And say to the universe, thank you for everything I have experienced. Now I am ready to receive a new environment, one that is more aligned, more wonderful, more complete. When you close the chapter of the past with the energy of gratitude, a new beginning with a higher vibrational frequency will be immediately sent your way. And that is the very first step toward a new chapter of life, one that is peaceful, gentle, and no longer bound by old memories or lingering pain. At present, everything in this world is moving at an unprecedented speed. The energy of attraction, also known as the law of attraction, is operating more powerfully than ever before. The things that you truly desire, the longings that rise from the depths of your heart, now have the potential to manifest instantly. That is why it is more important than ever that you live in alignment with your true desires. If you only use logic to plan your path, without listening to the voice of your heart, you may find yourself in a reality that has already shifted, yet your inner world has not caught up. This mismatch may leave you feeling lost, disconnected from your own life. Therefore, do something both fundamental and profoundly essential. Listen deeply and honestly to your heart. Ask yourself, what is it that I truly long for? What stirs my soul? What brings a real sense of aliveness to my being? Once you can answer those questions and choose to live in accordance with them, the right people, opportunities, and environments will naturally find their way to you. Earlier in the reading, the message of discernment was already emphasized, and now you can understand why it is so essential. When you are honest with your true desires, you will naturally begin to release what no longer resonates with your energy. And from there, the path you're walking will gradually become clearer, more aligned, and filled with opportunities that are genuinely meant for you. You will begin to notice doors opening, gently, but unmistakably. You no longer have to force yourself to search or strive, because everything you truly need will come to you as you return to your authentic self. The people you're meant to meet, the messages you need to hear, the pivotal opportunities, all of it will arrive in perfect harmony with the rhythm of the universe. Congratulations are in order. A truly beautiful future is waiting ahead of you. Receive it with joy and anticipation, because you are more than worthy of it. In this reading, two incredibly powerful cards have emerged. This is the one, a symbol of clarity and core alignment, and you are loved, a deep affirmation of being unconditionally cherished. When these two archetypes appear together, it is a sign that you are moving very close to the best, most meaningful chapter of your life. This concludes the reading for those who chose Pile 3. If what I've shared brought you insight, comfort, or simply a sense of resonance, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like to support my work. Thank you so much for staying with me until the very end. I wish you a peaceful, fortunate day ahead. I'll see you again in the next reading.